Alright, we're live. Mm. To be casting Complexity versus EG right now. For about 3 hours, we have to go somewhere, so let's see if we can get through an entire series. It's gonna be more chill. I just woke up like 2 hours ago right now, and it's not the most energetic right now. So I don't feel like going crazy unless something crazy happens. Let me regain my camera control, please. Thank you. Alright. So we missed the draft, but the game's just started. It's 2 minutes in, and Complexity is still favoring this Slark. This hero is not good in my opinion, but even when they lost their player Justin from internal issues, pretty much they're gonna have Moo play the Slark now. They really like it, along with the Tiny they've been picking for Moo. Kind of fits this playstyle where your carry is not really the one splitting the lanes, but he's not like taking the safe farm either, like a hero like Sven that NP picks up, but instead he's kind of like farming aggressively at the same time scouting out for kills. And they go with the support Slaughter as well for Z-Freak. Hero that can work pretty well as a support, but at the same time he needs a bit of space to start getting his items up because he definitely needs that blink dagger and something after that as well, like a force. Otherwise he's just kind of blinking in, dying, and not providing you too much. You want him to be alive for at least a bit in the fight to get the amplify damage. We see a charge from the mid lane, or onto the mid lane from Zai here, but he was spotted out by a ward, and Cancel's gonna send an arrow his way. He's gonna have to stop his charge to dodge that. He's still attempting to try to pressure Cancel a bit here. He's under a bit of pressure in his mid lane. Creep wave pushing in is what Auk does. And even with the Starfall to push it back out, it's nothing like the Acid Spray. But we're gonna see a fight onto Zaire. They're gonna commit the stun. Oh, the arrow is actually gonna miss. They might have got him there if the arrow hit, but now Z-Freak's in trouble as Wisp is gonna come in, and it looks like a dead Slaughter. Cancel has to be careful as well. Oh no, he's actually leaping in. There's no bottle yet on the Wisp. And with that haste rune, he's gonna be able to take out both supports on EG. Oh, with Bash! The charge! Can he get it? He needs another Bash. I don't know. No 17% there, and Cancel's gonna get away with murder. An arrow coming in, it will miss RTZ, and actually hit a creep, so that farm efficiency. RTZ showed up to try to save his supports or get a counter kill, but it wasn't there in time, unfortunately.
Radiant's top tower is taking
So
hits.
it's odd support decisions by Complexity. They have a Leshrac as well as a Slaughter, two heroes that kind of need farm to. They don't need like too much farm. Like if you're gonna play support Leshrac, like you're not expecting him to like get the Bloodstone and all that. Maybe he'll like get a Yules or something, but at the same time he needs like something to either keep him alive or like set up his stun like Yules. Um, I could say even go blink or something on him like that, but he definitely needs something to be somewhat useful as a support. Otherwise, you're gonna have a Leshrac just running around with like mana boots and like a stick or something or a wand, and he's gonna be able to do a fair bit of damage in fights, but he's not gonna be able to like position himself aggressively to really get his damage out there. He's gonna get bursted real fast. But as I say that, he's gonna go for a pretty deep dive on the mid lane here and get a kill onto Zai and the Spirit Breaker. But that's one thing that Leshrac does have. He has a lot of damage output. In addition to being fairly fast in the early game stages, just with the Windlace, he's moving pretty fast. And Slaughter as well, they're going for the move speed supports. They're going to be speedy, they want to make a lot of rotations, and that's what you kind of have to do with supports like this.
Dire's mid tower won't
You're going to see a charge onto Abaddon bot, and unfortunately he went into the graveyard, but the rotation in from Swindles as well as Z-Freak is going to secure them a kill onto Wisp. But they might, no. There's no detection on Zai, and Swindles is going to get away. Nice Moonlight Shadow from Cancel there,
Radiant's
saving his support's life. Look at the CS in the mid lane. Sumail is doing just fine. They did opt for the Alchemist. hero that EG actually doesn't run that well, but they are quite weak to it. So if anything, it's a deny pick. And I'm assuming they got more practice in with it, because usually when I see Sumail go Alchemist mid, he tends to go like these weird builds, but he's probably going to go the standard armlet build into Radiance this game. So many times I see him like try to build Shadow Blade and these other fighting items, and it just doesn't work out for them. But with the readjustment, should work out just fine. You know what? The reason why I say these supports kind of have to be active is if they kind of play passive, they're gonna get something out of the map, but at the same time, EG supports are really aggressive, and you're gonna, if they're not in position to respond to ganks and rotations like that, like this Abaddon kill could have just been a free kill for EG, but because they were in the right spot at the right time, they're able to counteract it and get at least a trade kill onto the crit IO. But now Z-Freak is in an aggressive position here. I'm not sure if that ward was dewarded or no, he didn't have a ward. He was just in the area. They thought he warded, so they put a sentry down. He's actually going to get himself away. Nice two-man crush on there. Now Universe on the Darkseer trying to find him, but he managed to juke in the trees and get himself out back to base.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Like, once Slark has a decent start in the early game against the Darkseer, you can just lane just fine against him. Like, you're gonna get the Iron Talon to kill the creep that has Iron Shell on it, and you just push out the lane real fast with Dark Pack, heal up once he gets out of vision. Spirit Breaker's gonna kill himself to neutrals there, and Universe rotating to try to get that kill onto Z-Freak will rotate back to his top lane. But it is now under pressure by this Fate's Edict, is that what it's called? It's a Diabolic Edict, or Fate's Edict. I don't know why I thought it was Fate's Edict. Where is that even from? Is that another skill name? Is that an Oracle skill name, or whatever? I knew it was Edict. Diabolic Edict from Leshrac. I actually like Complexity's draft. Usually Slark isn't the best hero, but with the supports that they have, it really favors a hero like Slark, because he can like make a lot of space for his team in terms of just going in a fight, initiating onto somebody, and then being able to just be unkillable for a while with the Shadow Dance. And since their supports are more like semi-cores, Leshrac as well as the Slardar, they can just utilize that space made by the Slark in a team fight to find a good initiations off with the stun from Leshrac or Slardar, and just get kills by themselves. Where Slark's weak is when he's expected to just like solo carry the game, and you have like kind of like defensive supports that don't provide too much in a fight by themselves. And in that case, he's not too great, but with supports like Slaughter and Leshrac, it's not too bad of a pickup. And they're doing pretty good in this game right now. EG does have a bit of a gold lead, but I would say Complexity is in a pretty good position right now. EG did rotate all their heroes to the top lane to try to make a push happen, and they almost killed Mu, but he managed to get away with the Shadow Dance. So close to going down there. Spirit Breaker either already used his charge to initiate, or he didn't have it. He didn't have what it took to catch up to him. I believe they're going to get this tower here, but bot tower is also going to fall, so it's going to be 1-for-1 trade in terms of towers. Complexity can push quite a bit faster with the Diabolic Edict, though I think the towers are going to both fall at the same rates pretty much. Bot lane's going to fall a bit faster. Z-Freak is still scouting out this Alchemist. He's trying to put a lot of pressure onto him. Maybe preventing the stack even. He's going to run and block it. Alright, he's not going to show himself actually. They're looking for a gank. He's waiting for Swindle Melons to catch up. Unfortunately, we'll have just used Chemical Rage, so it's going to be a pretty hard kill. They're going to combo the stun and arrow, but yeah, they don't have the damage to do it. If they caught him while he didn't have Chemical Rage, his Armlet just flew in as well. They might have been able to get that kill, but there's no way with Armlet and Chemical Rage and crit TPing in to provide extra regen. EG is, or RTZ is left in this top lane in here after EG pushed the top tower. He's just there to continue to farm up. He's gonna have his Armlet now too. Just flown to him on the courier. But now Complexity is making an aggressive push towards the mid lane as well as bot simultaneously. The charge was used on to cancel, but it was cancelled, and eating a stun from Z-Freak is going to go down. He realized he was going in a bad position, and he was right, but unfortunately he didn't back out in time. Now Monkeys Forever rotates to the mid lane to help finish off the tower, but it was actually denied by crit, so really good play from him, but he'll have to dodge his arrow here, and he just managed to clips him. That's unfortunate. That's like, really... Oh... Swindlemelons does die in the bot lane with rotation from Arteezy and a charge from his eye, it seems. But now he's going to go on to cancel the mid lane, and he's going to get him too. And that's the power of Spirit Breaker there. He purchased a dust on him finally, so he's going to have detection for that Moonlight Shadow. Back to where the Wisp died there. It's that's moments like that, or when you're like, yeah, I'm totally alive, and then you just barely get clipped on the edge, and you just don't expect to die. You might yell some obscenities, but could have totally lived there. So good arrow from Cancel though. So that was a fairly even trade. At first, Complexity had a bit of advantage in that trade, but when they feed away Cancel and lose Leshrac, it's gonna make that trade fairly even. The thing that they do have advantage right now is they have the mid tower, while Ichi is pretty close to taking actually with the pressure from the Alchemist Acid Spray, but it's not gonna die yet. So they have a bit more control over this area right now, which is what they need against an Alchemist who is building into a Radiance. He's going to have it very soon. By the time Complexity takes this top tower down, he's probably going to build a farm in the jungle. But the rate that Complexity are taking towers is pretty good right now. They put a lot of pressure on this bot tier 2 as well, which is what they want. They want to take away these towers as much as they can to prevent the Alchemist from farming the jungle, because that's where he's going to be most of the game. And the more they can control Ichi's jungle, the more they can limit Sumail's farm. Slaughter halfway to his Blink Dagger, so that's pretty good for him. Leshrac is still pretty poor. He's playing, assuming he's buying most of the wards, or he doesn't have a slot for it, so he might just, they place all their wards down, I guess, and don't hold slots for them at all, which is perfectly legitimate. He will have a slot now. There was a smoke in that slot, which they used, and now they're hunting for EG. And Mu is going to get the initiation onto Sumail. He does have Chemical Rage and the Radiance completed. The rest of EG are in the area as well, but Arteezy is going to just start devouring Swindlemelons. There's nothing they can do to stop him with the Rage on him. But he's going to go, oh, nice infest onto Zai. And in the back, Slaughter made initiation onto Crit, but the charge coming in from the Spirit Breaker is going to mean a dead Slaughter. The Slaughter will buy back, and they managed to clean up, killing both Zai and Sumail. Now Crit is in a bit of trouble too. Can he get himself out here? I don't think so. And with the amplified damage, that's so much damage on your Wisp there with only one base armor. That was a good trade for Complexity. It looked a bit sloppy there. They were kind of focused on two targets. I think Z-Freak going for the Wisps because they knew that if they didn't go for the Wisp, he was going to just save whoever else they were going to go on. But the rest of the team kind of focusing on Arteezy as he was just killing Swindles. But it still worked out at the end of the day. If anything, that split was probably ideal as they kind of split EG as well. And now there's going to be another fight into the mid lane. Sumail is still dead. Mu is going down low. Can he get out? He will not. Spirit Breaker even was channeling his ultimate there. And they're going to lose a Slark there. And that's what happens when you have a Slark. He runs out of his cooldowns. I don't think he had mana for ultimates. And he's going to die. So a bit of a misstep from Slark. You usually think of him as a really elusive hero. But at the same time, he's also very killable. If he just flubs his initiation at all, and he doesn't have a spell or something to get himself out, he's gonna get taken out pretty quickly. But now we're gonna see Arteezy in a bit of trouble. He gets amplified damaged up, and he did not have Rage on cooldown yet, and he'll actually get relocated out by Crit. But this might mean Crit will die here. If EG don't fight this, they're gonna just wait at the dot and shoot an arrow or something, kill the Wisp. But instead, EG is gonna make an initiation, and that's gonna scare Complexity away. Sumail charging up his stun there. They're a bit afraid. That could have easily been a dead IO, but his team was there to back him up. But after that, Complexity heads their way directly into the Rosh pit. Their mid tower was lost during that trade. The amplified damage, look how fast they can take out Rosh. This is really good for them. The Slaughter having to buy back there is going to be set a bit back on his blink. He's going to still be around halfway there, a bit more than that right now. But he's going to have to try to farm that up sometime soon. They've been fighting a lot, so he hasn't had the opportunity, and they haven't been winning the fights. I mean, they've done okay in the fights. I would say they had the advantage in them, but they haven't been completely wiping EG or anything like that, so he's not going to have that type of gold swing towards his way, especially having to buy back there. And it looks like EG is going to punish him now for farming up his Blink Dagger, and will his team react in time? It looks like he's going to die here. Charge coming in, he doesn't manage to get his stun off in time to cancel the charge, and with the relocate in, there's suddenly 5 heroes top for EG, and Monkey's Forever has to be careful. And the rest of the heroes are rotating in from Complexity just to defend this tower, and with that rotation, EG is going to decide to back out, letting that relocate bring Arteezy back to the mid lane. But during that time, I believe it was Swindlemelon, someone managed to finally finish off this bot tier 2, which is pretty good for EG. And it looks like they're going, I don't know, I thought that was a smoke coming in the courier, and they tried to de-ward. They knew that EG would probably plop a ward somewhere in this area, and they managed to get it there. So good heads up from Swindlemelons to get that award. Check their jungle a bit more. So it looks like Abaddon will go for the Vlad's build. This is a pretty classic build, popularized by Login Bupt, and nowadays we kind of see a bit of a different build from Abaddon players. Sometimes going for the Mac Greaves and like an Aether Lens or something like that, but just going for the all classic build, Vlad's, FaZe. You're just not too bad when you have heroes like Slark and Slaughter that can benefit a bit from that, the Vlad's lifesteal. I mean, it does give lifesteal to all type of heroes now, but of course the melee heroes having a bit more lifesteal from that item. In addition, it does give a lot of armor to the team, which is very valuable against relatively physical damage based lineup from EG. Let's see a relocate on the bot lane onto Z-Freak, but this time he's going to get out alive as his team is there to support him. And the Slark able to just immediately burst the Wisp down. He was there for a second, gone the next, and Arteezy's in a bit of trouble. He has to run himself away here as his Wisp friend got absolutely murdered. Zai had to charge himself away as well, and he managed to TP out in time, dodging the stun from Z-Freak. Mech is up on Universe now. EG's team fight is nothing to underestimate at this moment in time with the Mech on the Darkseer. They have a Desolator on Arteezy as well. Ooh, Zai did get infested up, and he's gonna go on to Swindlemelons, but Swindlemelons is gonna get immediately deleted there by the Lifestealer, but they're gonna trade away their Zaya as well, as the Stark was in the area. He was watching that charge go off, but unfortunately there's nothing they can do when Swindlemelons gets initiated on by a Lifestealer. With his rage, he's gonna be able to burst that Leshrac just in time. That's what I say about Leshrac. He's just gonna get deleted like that when he's playing against a hero like Lifestealer. He has to have very good positioning in the fight, make sure that he's really far away from Lifestealer until they can get items like Force Staff, maybe Glimmer, to help save him. I say Force Staff is better here. So they do carry detection on most of their heroes because there's the Moonlight Shadow and the Slark as well with the Shadow Blade. Now Slark continuing to scout out for his team, and it's pretty much as I said he would be doing. His team is spending a lot of time pushing out lanes while he's kind of just scouting while farming the jungle. And he managed to find all of EG, and he's going to be in a bit of trouble here. He has Aegis though, but he's still going to use his ult to try to get himself away, and he's going to leap as well with the Moonlight Shadow. Do they have Dust? Yeah, they do, but it will get purged off. And nice bait from Moon. It's going to bait EG into his team now, and can Complexity clean up? Z-Freak came in, and he's falling a bit low. Now, Swindlemelons will fall in the back, and Abaddon ult used. Monkeys Forever healing back up, and holy crap. That's 3 heroes there, and it grouped up for a Starfall, but it was not enough damage. Arteezy managed to die at the end of the day there, and this is a complete bloodbath. Aegis will expire while he's sitting in the trees, and now it's Sumail and Zai versus Moo and Cancel, and it looks like Sumail and Zai are winning, but not really Zai, it's just Sumail alone. He's too strong right now, and they're unable to kill him. That looked really good for Complexity for a moment there, but you realize there was an Alk there, and he's not dying unless they have a lot of damage. But Moo managed to... Ooh! Moo managed to take out Zai there, but he's gonna get punished by Sumail, eating that stun down into the low ground. Unfortunately, he could Dark Pack the stun, but Dark Pack also reduces his HP, and he managed to die just to the damage there. And now Swindles is gonna get got on by Sumail, and it looks like he's gonna die here too. Yeah, it's just 1 stun, 2 hits, I'm dead. Suddenly this Alk is a huge problem for Complexity. Usually you think Slark would be a hero to deal with the Alk pretty well, able to steal a lot of essence shifts from him and kind of being elusive so the Alk can't really chase him down and kill him. But since he's kind of trading a lot of farm with his team, he's up there in net worth. But if you look at Alk is double his net worth right now after that fight, and he's going to be unkillable from the Slark, and at that point, there's only so much your Slark can do. He's starting to get essence shifts, but if he gets to the point where he can't even be near the Alk without taking tons of damage, that's not what he wants. Because Alk doesn't have the best right-click damage, right? And he's only going to take damage from the Radiance and the Acid Spray. But at this point, Alk's right clicks are pretty strong just because of how farmed he is and out-leveled he is from the rest of the teams. Or the rest of the heroes on the map, I mean. Complexity is trying to chase EG away from their mid tower, and it doesn't look like they're going to commit to a fight. EG is pretty strong right now with Sumail having double net worth of the highest hero on Complexity, and he's super strong right now with his Octarine completed, his 24-minute mark. They're just going to have to play around him, wait for EG to split up a bit. But even if they're split, they have a lot of global presence as well, with the IO as well as the Darkseer, or the Spirit Breaker, I mean. So splitting the map is definitely Complexity's game right now, but they have to be careful how they do it. Spirit Breaker and IO in the game. They can easily get themselves caught out, and that could be disastrous for them. Just Swindles just trying to T-board, get control of their side of the map again. His EG have just been running all over it since that top fight.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
And that was a 4-man wipe for Complexity, but they lost all 5 of their heroes, Sumail being the lone survivor of that fight. It's gonna be a bit of time where Complexity is gonna have where EG split up, but unfortunately they weren't able to get anyone. With Crit being the last one to get out, he just barely managed to get out there. Moo fighting him in the back line. Sumail's continue to farm up after that tower gold as well. He's had 4,000 gold in his inventory. TZ building into a AC. Looks like RTZ is drawing over here. They look like they want to take control of this right side of the map, take both these towers, as well as give them space to maybe go for Roshan. It has not spawned yet, and it will spawn soon. I'm not sure what Complexity's play here is at this moment in time. If they can get to later in the game, like get actual items up on their Leshrac as well as Slaughter, and Abaddon even, he's pretty poor himself. He does have a Basher now, but that's not going to help him much at all in a fight. Sure, he can man up a bit against the Lifestealer and the Alchemist, but his damage output is nothing with these 2 items. The Basher just gives him a bit more tank and control, that's about it. It's a very slow attacking hero. It's not going to get a lot of damage out as well. Looks like Complexity is posturing for a Roshan. Mu is scouting out for them, trying to find any heroes that he may potentially be able to pick off, while Cancel is continuing to split out lanes. It's been his job all this game. They send an Alpha Legion just to scout into the Rosh Pit, and now Sumail is running his own hero in. He's not afraid right now. He's super tanky. He didn't even buy an item yet. Oh, now he's going to buy a full Shiva's Guard, and we're going to see the 6-slotted Alk at the 27-minute mark. And this is EG's timing to win, and its Complexity's timing to survive. But as I say survive, they're actually going to look to play aggressive here. Moonlight Shadow is used, and I don't think it's spotted by EG. Now it will, as they reveal their Slark, and could have been in a bit of trouble there. And instead, Obi Swindlemelon's eating the gank from the Spirit Breaker. Sumail will stun himself, and it's going to be a bit annoying. But it looks like EG is going to be able to secure Rosh here. They definitely can kill it before Leshrac can spawn. They're still a bit afraid, as Leshrac could buy back and TP to this bot tiered 1. So they're going to back themselves away, not commit for that Rosh. They know they're really strong right now, but they still don't want to do anything rash and throw away their lead. Because if they die here right now, they're going to lose their timing window. And they're okay with continuing to farm out, because that doesn't swing the net worth in favor of Complexity at all. But if they take a awkward fight, a bad fight, they're going to feed a lot of net worth back into Complexity. So they're perfectly fine to play it a bit passive. And they're going to allow Swindlemelon's time to respawn. And you're going to see a lot of the map presence of both teams be placed around this Rosh Pit right now, as it's the next objective that both teams want to secure. The wards from both Complexity and EG showing that. They're going to use a smoke and try to get a wraparound onto EG that are just taking down this bot tier 1, and they're going to make a go onto Z-Freak, but it's going to be saved by Monkeys Forever. But they found a charge onto Cancel, and he's in a bit of trouble here. He's probably going to die. He did have leap, but nice vacuum to cancel that. Good play from Universe, but Moonlight Shadow, he's been able to get out alive. There was no detection for him as of yet, and they managed to take out Crit in the backline, but finally Mirana will die. Universe falling super low to Mu, but he didn't manage to finish him off. And now the rest of EG will die. Sumail chasing down Monkeys Forever and taking him out as well. And Complexity is in a world of hurt right now. They're in deep, deep, deep trouble. Mu, the only hero alive, and they're gonna go for a high ground push from EG, and this might just be game right now. I would not be surprised if EG can secure this game at this moment. All they have to do is play it safe and just start hitting these towers. As long as they don't go for any crazy dives or anything, they're unkillable. They even have the Darkseer illusions to help them push, and they got that bot lane of Rax, and they're gonna go for mid. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just commit for the mid instead of backing. Instead, we're gonna see Mu fight with Zai and Universe in the back, and they lose their Spirit Breaker. So I think now they will back.
Mid towers having
I think even if Complexity decides to fight here, they're still gonna lose the fight. It might be a bad decision to try to chase here. They did go on Crit, Mu went on Crit, and he managed to take him low, but he managed to tether away. And now Swindle is dying. Mu is left alone once again. Both Mirana as well as Abaddon trying to make a retreat, while Mu is just left there trying to pick off stragglers in the back line. They know he can't kill Alk, or even the Lifestealer at this point, and he will get Crit. So both supports are dead for EG, but Lifestealer and Alk are both too strong for Mu to handle right now. It's gonna get saved by the E-Blade from Cancel, but now Sumail is just running in, and he's continuing to chase. They know where he is with the charge in from the Spirit Breaker, but instead he's gonna switch targets to Cancel, as they now have detection for the Slark. And they're gonna start working on the mid-rack, and it's falling really quickly with the AC and Desolator up on Arteezy, and this could be game. Complexity have one more fight in them, and it's very unlikely they can win the fight. both Arteezy as well as Sumail are way too strong right now. Look at net worth. Their heroes are so far behind EG right now, even behind the Darkseer. And the cores on EG are simply unkillable. The only ones that can even go after are Wisp and the Spirit Breaker. They're not too important in these fights right now. Spirit Breaker is totally fine about going in there and dying as long as he gets the disable he needs off onto Complexity's heroes, and Complexity's going to go for a Hail Mary Roshan. I'm not so sure this is going to work out for them as EG will contest. They know what's going on. They smoked up and they're going to run into the pit. Z-Freak, really nice stun onto 2 there. Will he get himself out alive? Charge coming in from Zai. Now Moo in a bit of trouble, getting open wounds up by the Lifestealer. He's going to have to commit his ult and try to get himself away there with the Shadow Blade. Cancel just coming in as well with an arrow, but none of EG's heroes are even falling low except for the Io. And he will fall in the back to the Slark, but as that happens, Hansel will get found and taken out. But now Arteezy going down. Really scrappy fight from EG, but they're gonna continue to chase Complexity, and with the vacuum wall coming in, Alchemist as well, they're gonna be able to clean up. So they do lose Arteezy there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a GG call. Arteezy even buying back just to try to end the game. They're not even gonna go for Roshan. They're gonna go straight for the throne. There's an Aghanim's on the courier. Who did he give the other Ags to? He gave it to the Darkseer. There you go, have an Ag, Zai. And it looks like EG are just gonna end the game. GG is called by Swindlemelons. It was a bit of a weird game. Complexity played pretty well in the early to mid game, but that one fight top just really changed everything. The one thing in the game was Swindlemelons just couldn't get a lot done on the Leshrac with a hero like Lifestealer, who can just go on him every fight and just delete him from the fight pretty much. Every fight was pretty much fought almost as a 4v5. Leshrac had trouble just dealing anything in the fights as he just got focused by the Spirit Breaker or the Lifestealer and taken out before he can do anything at all. I mean, it did have the Abaddon to attempt to save him, but it was not enough. The Slaughter also not... his amplified damage had a lot of impact in fights. At the end there, you saw that it was able to clean out Arteezy. But other than that, his Blink Dagger was a bit delayed as he had to buy back to win that bot fight. And because of that, the Abaddon as well. I mean, the Slark and the Mirana were able to get a lot off, but the rest of their team just felt... their impact in fights didn't feel that significant compared to like the Darkseer, who was getting really nice vacuums off. As you saw in that bot fight there, it was able to cancel the leap from Cancel and secure them a kill there. Alright, that was game 1 of EG vs Complexity. What other games are going on right now? I need a drink. There's eHome versus Adfin. I'll say eHome are winning this a bit. And LGD versus Faceless. This is still game 1. LGD look to be in the lead. Faceless opting for the support Weaver, trying to copy VP a little. This doesn't seem to be working out too well for them. Let's just head into this game and watch, but I want to wait for Complexity versus EG game 2.
Unstoppable. He monster
Alright, so it looks like LG just cleaned the floor with Faceless, and they're on their way to ending the game.
Radiant's mid tower's in trouble.
maybe is godlike.
Radiant's mid tower needs a hand.
The GG will be called. What a time to head into the game. Let's go into the eHome game. I liked the idea for Complexity's draft, but how the drafts matched up against EG's wasn't the greatest. Maybe if EG had a slightly different lineup, they would have done a little better with that. Because
Dyer's
if they can get a bit of a lead in that draft, it can be very hard for EG to have control of their map. And I think that's what they were going for. Just the main thing is a Slark, right? He was able to scout out any vision on the map, as well as just scout out heroes as well with the Shadow Blade once he picks it up, and control the vision of the game. And with that, they could utilize their heroes to just farm out lanes, push them out, and go for rotations and ganks as well, and kind of cut the map out, or cut out where it's possible for EG to farm and control their like jungle areas and their pretty much their whole side of the map. And that's why they went for so many early aggressive plays, so they can get towers, and they did get those towers, but Sumail, they weren't able to shut down Sumail enough, and that was the biggest thing in the game. Sumail was able to find his farm. He got like a 13-minute radiance and armlet. A bit later than that, he did die in that one fight in the bot lane, but that wasn't enough to shut him down. He still got his stacks off, and he continued to farm up. And with that, it was a really nice play from Moo in the top lane there. That fight could have turned out really good for Complexity, and that's why they went for it. The thing is, he baited out everything. Not everything, but they baited out a lot of attention on him. Kind of kited the EG squad into his team, and they were able to respond in time. But at that point, they just weren't farmed enough. They weren't strong enough to wipe EG. Sumail, being the lone survivor, is able to clean everyone up. That had a lot to do with Universe also having his mech at that time. I think he just picked it up, or he had it for like just a few minutes, and with that mech, they were a lot more sustainable in fights as the Wisp as well. He did die pretty quickly in the fight, but just all the healing that came out just really added up, and they just weren't able to burst them in time. And the thing is, like, let's say they just immediately just wiped the rest of EG's heroes and just left Sumail alone, they probably might have been able to clean him up, but the fact that they had to take just that much longer to just take out the Lifestealer, the Wisp, the Darkseer, and the Spirit Breaker allowed Sumail to get a lot of damage done with his Radiance and his Acid Spray. And with that, they were just too low to kill him at the end of the fight. And you saw that Slark, even going back in to kill the Spirit Breaker, he just died to the Alchemist's stun. Alright, apparently the eHome game is also done. I wasn't watching. Actually tabbed just to check stream. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on, but yeah, that game will be done. We're gonna chill, guys. My sinuses are a little clogged. It's affecting my casting ability. I'll try to clear them. Alright. When is this Complexity game coming up? What do we do, guys? So EG won this game. Faceless lost. LGD won first game. eHome won the first game. Who won OG? Look it up. won. Alright, what's the fastest website that updates the scores? Gosu Gamers? Let's try Gosu Gamers. Oh, that's a stream. So it looks like OG won game 1 against IG Vitality. You have a stand-in, right? Yeah, they have Burning as a stand-in, as well as Q. Who's their regular carry player on IG Vitality? Let's look it up. I actually don't know this by heart. I mean, I know it. I just can't pull it out of nowhere right now. If I hear the name, alright, it's Yuno and Sakata. They're missing, I believe. Is it? Am I right? Wait, no. Yuno is Paparazzi. Paparazzi is their carry. Then what? Wait, hold on a second. So Burning is playing carry for sure. Wait, Burning support? Or is mid Warlock? Hold on a second. Is this Burning support? And they have a Legion Commander. They have a Jakiro. I didn't even realize. I mean, I saw it, right? I saw the Warlock picture, but I was like, hold on a second. That's Burning. I saw this name. The name and the picture, the hero did not connect. But now it just did. This Burning is playing Warlock. It might be mid Warlock, but I don't know. Yeah, so Paparazzi is their carry. And Sakata is their mid, who they're missing. But it looks like, who is this? Mars SC Fran. Sakata is their mid. Paparazzi is their carry. In July is their offlaner. Super and Dogfights are the support. So yeah, that makes sense. What's going on? So I'm assuming this is in July. Alright, so if Burning can't play regular mid, just have him play Warlock. You can't mess up that hero mid. Just cast Fatal Bonds on people. So right-clicking creeps, and it does a lot of harass damage. But I'm assuming it's the mid Warlock. No, it's actually... Wait, in July is their offlaner, and he's playing Slardar. So Legion Commander is the other support. It's Dogfights, I think. Who didn't get the Visa? Dogfights or Super? I think Super didn't get the Visa. So Dogfights is playing Legion Commander. And with that, they have Jungle, Legion Commander, Mid, Warlock, Support. Alright, they're going for some weird shit. And it's probably why they lost to OG. They went for a pretty standard, strong draft. The Luna, Shadow Demon, as well as the Mirana. Shadow Demon and Mirana. Oh my god. That's annoying. The Timber Saw as well. You can pull off a LGD FY-esque push strategy with that front line with the Timber Saw and just start taking down everything with the Luna. Is he actually going to start? Should I switch over to this instead of EG Complexity? I am interested in EG Complexity, but I want to see Burning play support. Honestly. What do I do? I don't know. I'm just gonna wait. I don't feel like just casting their drafts. It's a bit weird. I'm gonna wait until the Ishii game starts. Because like if I cast this right now, I'm probably gonna cast their draft and then just switch. There's not much point in that. I'm just gonna chill out. drunk ranked is similar to drunk driving. You're bound to shit the bed. Nice. Battle Cup. Did they win? They not win. Can the EG game start, please? This is the only game that started. It must have added pretty quickly. Start soon. Start soon. Yeah, IG Vitality was really a strong team, but now that they have a roster swap, and it's Birding playing mid Warlock, I think. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 80% sure it's a mid Warlock. If they're going to do something like that, I don't think I have the best chance of this tournament. And here's the game. Right, get right into it. EG vs Complexity Game 2. I want to see actually how they draft on Complexity. I didn't get to see it last game.
Radiant's ban.
Alright, so they're gonna have the ban. Venomancer is EG abusing that hero. Batrider banned from EG. Pretty standard. Monkeys Forever signature hero.
10 seconds to go.
Where they go for their second ban. The ban Complexity is Leshrac, or just let them have it and beat it. They don't care. So, yeah, sure, give Swindlemelon's Leshrac, we're just gonna kill him. No, they're gonna ban the Ogre. It makes a lot more sense.
Ban.
Super annoying hero right now. It's an 8 armor support hero, int hero, runs in your lane, has like 600 starting HP with like sticks, I believe. Maybe not that much, but somewhere around that. And buys like an Orb of Venom, just runs down your lane. Doesn't even level his Ignite level 1. He can go with the freaking retarded Bloodlust build level 1, and he outruns all your heroes. He starts right-clicking them down with freaking his Orb of Venom, and you can't do shit. And they'll get their Wisp first pick, while Complexity bans the Drow Ranger.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
Well, what are Complexity going to start off with this game? I don't know, Leshrac. It didn't work out last game, but they still stand by it. So they pick up the first pick, Leshrac. Let's see what they're going to go for next. Like, this hero isn't bad, by far, but it wasn't just good in that game. EG played around it really well. They made sure he died at the beginning of every fight, so they could he couldn't dish out a ton of damage to the heroes that are more susceptible to it, like the Wisp. And they're going to go for the same thing, Leshrac Slardar. Yeah, the thing is, Leshrac is okay against Io, for the fact that he just dished out a ton of AoE damage, and if Io is anywhere in the area, he can just immediately get bursted by its physical damage as well from the Diabolic Edict.
10 seconds to go.
And combined with the amplified damage from the Slaughter, there's some synergy in there. But instead, they're going to go for the same thing again, just Lifestealer. A hero that can deal with it relatively well. And sure, he still takes damage from Diabolic Edict, but the rest of Leshrac stills his stuns, as well as him just being squishy enough to burst down in like one rage. Makes it a pretty decent pickup.
Radiant's ban.
Complexity gonna ban Axe. And that might be just signifying they're going for Slark again. They're just going for the same thing. They decided they just didn't play it right, which is arguably kind of right. Because they could have, if they played that game a little bit more organized, a bit better, like their rotation is just a bit more on the spots, the fights just went their way a bit more, and the Alchemist being the main problem, and they're going to get rid of it this time. They could have just won that. The Alchemist was really the only issue, so they're deciding that, yeah, we can play this strat, it's just we can't play it against an Alch. So they're going to ban Alch and try again at the same strategy, most likely. And if Ichi can read that, they're going to ban the Slark.
5 seconds.
Well, let's see what they actually go for here.
Reserve time.
If it was me, I would ban Slark. I don't know. What do I know? You're gonna ban Juggernaut? Actually makes sense as well.
Dyer's pick.
If you're gonna ban Axe, you're gonna look at heroes that he's really good at, right? For your carrier. And, of course, he's really good against Slark, but he's also really good against Juggernaut. Just able to disable Juggernaut even through his spin, and also just burst him down real quick once you get the blade mail. Juggernaut will do a ton of damage to himself.
5 seconds.
So I'm assuming they're gonna go for Slark again. They might not pick it up right now. They might pick the Mirana for cancel. It actually goes pretty well here. What else other heroes that he plays? Invoker wouldn't be bad. Makes their mid lane a bit weak early, so that either the IO or their other support, whatever they're gonna choose to pick up, can play a lot more aggressive onto him. So they're deciding here. Of course, Cancel also plays TA, and it goes pretty well with their strategy right now. With the Slardar most likely on support once again. They could also switch it up. Who knows? The fact that they have the option really helps out their draft. It's gonna take a while to decide this one. 1 minute into their reserve time. So right now they can go for, if we were assuming that both these first picks are supports, yeah, they're going to go for the Slark right now. They're deciding that if they're going to pick it anyway, they can pick it now. There's not much that EG can do to counter it, but let's see how they respond. So there's still quite a bit of heroes that can shut down that Slark. But the Slark is not the real, like, he's not the real, like, carrier of their team, as a sense.
5 seconds.
Like, of course, they still need him to do well, but it's not too important that he just, like, 1v5s their team, right?
Time.
With multiple core or semi-core strategies or semi-core supports like Slaughter and Leshrac, it's not too important that he can 1v5. He needs the whole team to do well. It's pretty interesting that they decide to play this way. They realize that they're not like the most highly individually skilled players in the world or anything, so they're gonna either win as a team or lose as a team. Darkseer picked up once again for EG. That's gonna be very annoying for Slark in the early game, so that's gonna allow them to free up their other lanes a bit, because the supports can't roam too early. They need to support the Slark.
Reserve time.
And Complexity going for their next pick right now. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same thing. Like, I think like if they can get the same exact draft and just play against EG without the Alchemist, they might be happy with that. Because the Alchemist was the deciding factor in the last game. Oh, instead they're gonna go for the OD.
Radiant's pick.
I'm not so sure about that actually, because Lifestealer is already a pretty strong hero against OD, and he doesn't really synergize too well with the Slaughter or anything as well. The minus armor doesn't affect him too much.
10 seconds to go.
Like, he's not really good against any of EG's heroes at this point.
Reserve time.
And he's not bad against them, except for like Lifestealer is kind of an advantage. But he's not good against them either. He can do this, like, I think the Mirana here would have been a bit better, just because of what she does. Moonlight Shadow also being very valuable for them. But I can see, like, if they want to just draw this out a bit later, play it a bit slower, the OD is fine. It gives them more scalability. Is that even a word? It allows him to scale more into the late game, pretty much, compared to the Mirana. You can play it a bit slower, just hold the map more, and at a late game stage of the game, Lifestealer's Odie doesn't care too much about him anymore. Once he gets like Hex, you can do a ton of damage to him. So Complexity is going to change it up a bit, so Ichi has to think, do they want to go for the Spirit Breaker once again? Because it's still fairly good against the Slark. They do have a lot to just disrupt his charge, so they're probably not. And yep, as I say that, their Spirit's going to come out. A lot better hero against something like the OD, where you really need a silence to prevent him from like imprisoning someone, or himself saving them.
10 seconds to go.
If anything right now, I would say Complexity's draft looks a bit stronger at this point in time.
Reserve time.
Look at the early game right now. Darkseer is going to do fairly well against the Slark and whatever support he's going to receive. He's going to have
seconds to go.
A relatively free lane for a while until Slark gets a bit of levels up. Sniper is going to be Complexity's last ban.
Radiant's ban.
And in terms of Earth Spirit's roaming as well as the Wisp, that is a pretty scary combination against certain types of heroes, and it's not too good against Complexity's heroes. Their heroes are pretty strong against that. They have like a lot of stuns, they can get away pretty easily.
5 seconds.
Against heroes that's kind of like a hard time, have a hard time just they either lack disable or lack any type of mobility, can be susceptible to Wisp Earth Spirit just roaming on them. But with all of Complexity's heroes, they have some way to either get themselves out or just to save each other. Abaddon going to be the last ban from EG.
10 seconds to go.
Just fitting with their draft last game, so they're going to just
5 seconds.
disallow that. They're not going to allow them to have the same heroes. Wow, EG is going to be deciding on their last pick, going to their reserve time right now. They need a mid hero for Sumail. What is it going to be? Invoker.
Dire's pick.
Pretty standard matchup right now, Invoker versus OD. And Sumail actually does really well in that matchup. He does a lot well in a lot of matchups. If you watch him mid, he wins his lane pretty hard. He doesn't always win in the game. You saw it in a lot of series against who was it? I think it was Wings.
5 seconds.
It was someone at the summit or whatever. We're gonna see Undying last pickup. Anyway, what I wanted to say was Sumail just like owned this Alchemist mid, where they still lost. I think it was against OG. Yeah. Yeah. So I said the Slaughter might just transition into a core, and that will happen as they pick up the last pick Undying, picked up by Z-Freak, and it's gonna be the offlane Slaughter. They're left with the option to do that, and they decide to go with it.
Oh, good.
Undying is going to give them a pretty strong laning presence.
What's with all the scribbling?
Like, if they go dual lane and EG tri-lanes, but it doesn't look like EG's going to tri-lane. Like, Earth Spirit's a roaming hero, even Wisp is, to a certain extent. So, their early game rotations are going to be key to deciding this game right now.
10 seconds to go.
What can Io and Earth Spirit do
5
in the early game, and what can this Leshrac as well as Undying do?
Lost one.
See a TP to the top lane. He has a Wings, the Wings TP. Crit will TP as well, but he's smoked up and runs down low and gets his ward off. Swindle will get his ward off as well. He looks to be an aggro dual lane from Complexity. Because as I said, Slark does need some support against the Darkseer, otherwise he's going to get crushed in that lane. Wisp actually buying out right now. He's not going for the bottle rush, which is a totally fine build, actually, for this early game.
30 seconds to showtime.
I mean, what I would like from Zai right now, which would be pretty huge in this early game, going for a build like this, is not leveling Tether level 1, waiting if either of these camps actually turned out to be a Satyr camp or a Wolf camp, and he can get level 2 immediately off of that, farming it with his spirits, and then he'll have Tether and spirits level 2, just like 1 minute in the game. Because at that point, there's not going to be too much happening in the lanes right now. He can sacrifice 1 minute in the lane. Because at this point, like, he goes Tether, he can zone Monkeys forever a bit, but there's an Undying lane as well. And just a level 1 Wisp is not going to be able to do too much against it. But it does go for, like, a lot of regen, so make sure that he can trade well. And they're going to do a fair bit of damage to him in this bot lane. His Tether isn't bad, but in this situation, I might look towards that, and we'll see if these camps actually turn out to be that. Because it's not worth it if these camps aren't those two, so it's a bit of a luck draw. If just going Tether level 1 always works out, right? But yeah, see, it turns out that this is going to be a Wolf camp, so he could have farmed this. You see right now, he can't do anything in this lane after this. They did harass the Slaughter a bit, but at this point he just has to pull here. And he's trying to get level 2. That's what he's trying to do. And shut down their levels a bit. But you see they're going to zone Arteezy out of the lane. And it's going to be a dual lane from EG on the top lane as well. Crit's going to do the side pull here. Complexity not opting to do that. Instead, they're just going to focus on the pressure. And at this point, in a 2v2 lane like this, when you're a solo support like a Wisp that can't really fight against their dual off-laners, you just have to try to pull, even if it's a single pull. You want to get as much experience as you can, but as you see, he's going to get blocked right now, and even Z-Freak sapped a bit of experience from that, so he's going to be closer to level 2 than even Zai is. If Zai just farmed this camp with spirits, he would be level 2 right now, and do a bit better in the lane. Because he doesn't need overcharge, because he's already taking so much harass from their heroes. Just having spirits and tethered level 2 is not bad. Because he's going to get harassed anyway, let's allow him to heal up Arteezy. With glass hits, it's fairly even right now in the mid lane. We don't expect either hero to have that big of advantage early, but it might start building for either Sumail or OD if they can get a bit of an advantage. But so far they're going even right now. If we look at top lane, Swindles is looking to do a bit better than... No, actually... Yeah, Swindles is doing a bit better than Wisp. He's kept the Earth Spirit level 1 for a bit longer, but the Darkseer is level 3. And it's actually even. There's a side pull coming in from EG, which is hurting Complexity's gold and farm, or experience, I mean. We're gonna see a fight on the bot lane, and both Complexity's heroes are really low. They might get a kill here. Movement speed from the tether. Gonna allow Arteezy to catch up, but now EG's in a bit of trouble. Zai has to be careful here. He can die to Z-Freak, who's salved up a bit. We're gonna see the first blood in the mid lane, but we'll continue watching this, and yep, Zai will fall, and will Arteezy be able to find a kill? No, they got jebaited. Z-Freak actually is gonna die to the Sunstrike. Arteezy barely having enough mana to get the open wounds off, and they're able to find a counter kill there, but it's actually not too bad for them. It's a huge creep wave stacked up for Complexity. They just have to get this experience, and they're going to still be able to do fine in this lane. EG are going to look to play aggressive and try to zone them from this experience as much as they can. Arteezy even diving deep in their tower to try to get their denies, while Zai is just trying to pull the lane back. They lost their OD in the mid lane, which is going to lead to Sumail getting a fair advantage in this lane. Wouldn't be surprised if his CS continues to rise above the ODs. And Universe and Crit putting a lot of pressure in this top lane. The Quelling Blade, Slark has an okay time lasting under tower, but he's a bit annoyed. Zai is still really far away from bottle. He's 200 gold. I see some fighting in the mid lane right here. Crit picked up a haste rune. He's trying to pressure, cancel the OD. Managed to get a couple hits off with the Aura Venom. Zai coming in as well, and this is where you see the power of Wisp Earth Spirit. They can initiate from a really long range and get on top of you.
Technical difficulties.
But they're not going to be able to find the kill on Monkeys Forever, and now it's Crit that's in a bit of trouble. Will he have his role? He has to play this perfectly, and he's not going to find it. His mana got drained there, didn't have enough mana for Rolling Boulder. He's going to finish off by Slaughter, actually. Thought Odie got the kill. So now Arteezy going to be left alone in this bot lane against Z-Freak. Lifestealer against Undying, he does okay. He's going to have free farm, pretty much. Pulling to the side and clearing out the creep wave. Oh, he's actually going to go aggressively onto Z-Freak, try to zone him away. Yeah, that's the power of Lifestealer. They're going to be taking the whole creep wave and fighting Undying. And, can do that with the lifesteal provided from the open woods. Alright, now 3 heroes in the bot lane right now. Complexity is looking to contest Arteezy. They're going to leave their Slark in a rough spot in this top lane. He's getting chased down by Crit, even plopping a ward down to get vision on him if he gets to the other side of the tree line, and he's probably going to kill him here. Yeah, Leap's still on cooldown, level 1 Leap. He's going to get a kill onto Moo in the top lane, and Universe continue to pound on this tower. Sumail is winning mid lane pretty hard now as well, with the amount of pressure that Cancel faced. In the early game, it was going to be critical to this game, and it seemed that EG got the better one so far. Yeah, Crit did die in the bot lane there, but did get a kill for it on Z-Freak as well. Mid lane died from Cancel, now top lane died too from Moo, and he's in a bit of trouble again. This Earth Spirit and Darkseer combo being extremely deadly. Of course, they had Darkseer and Spirit Breaker the last game, but Earth Spirit works the same way. You can roll in, get right in a hero's face, and slow them down, stun them. I think he's gonna kill himself here. He's gonna try to farm up this camp as much as he can before dying. And this is disastrous for Complexity around. Their Slark is super shut down as well as their OD. Their offlaner on the Slaughter is having to rotate around, try to get something done, but he's not gonna find a kill on Sumail. If they can get an imprisoned stun, they might be able to kill him, but at this point he's really farmed. He has a range drop as well. See him get like a sub 10-minute Midas maybe? Can you do that? Potentially. I think the bottle coming out for Wisp. Yeah, so we'll have his bottle now. I can heal up Arteezy. Give him mana as well. Then go on to Monkeys Forever, and he's not going to use his stun yet as Arteezy's raging, and they're probably going to be able to kill him. Yep. The last right click from Io finishing him off there. And they're even going to continue to go on to Leshrac, but Slark in the area. Alright, you see that? His eyes tethered to a creep. Yeah, why did he untether, dude? I'm pretty sure it still heals him while he's in there. Or whatever. Oh, now, alright, 3 heroes in the bot lane. His eye's in a bit of trouble here. He has 7 stick charges. Alright, he cancelled his tether, and that's gonna mean he dies. Arteezy gonna try to get away. Open woundsing and raging, but they're pretty fast. They can catch up to him, and no more mana for anything. He's probably gonna die here. He needs a juke. Alright, they got the stun off. Oh, he barely managed to get enough mana for rage. He's gonna pick up the bounty as well. He's gonna try to kill himself to Roshan now. A wild goose chase. They managed to take out the Lifestealer finally, that imprisoned from the OD. They committed a lot for that. During that whole time, EG managed to take the top tower. Darkseer and Earth Spirits going to the top lane managed to finish off that. You're gonna go aggressively onto Zaire. He's the most susceptible hero to dying on all of EG, and he's gonna be in a bit of trouble. But oh no, the turnaround! Oh no, the relocate as well! Alright. That's when you just you type this all chat and you go GG end. So that's pretty much what's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure EG is gonna end. And like like at this point, the kill score doesn't say too much, right? But you look at the net worth. That's pretty big. Look at the whole net worth. This Slark is put in the dumpster. This OD is put in the dumpster. The rest of their team is irrelevant as well. And they're gonna have a rough time coming back into this game. They're EG's gonna have to throw really hard, or something's gonna happen. It has to be crazy for Complexity to come back in this game. The only reason I say that is when you're playing against a Wisp lineup and they're just far behind, they snowball. They for sure snowball. And the only way that Complexity really have to come back in the game is big throw from EG. They're gonna go for the pub train strat. Is running multiple heroes at the safe lane. And it's gonna be Complexity hero is gonna be the first one to die there. Arteezy's slowing down the slaughter and he's gonna eat a Sunstrike to the face, and the rest of EG's heroes is gonna rotate to the bot lane. Tombstone will come down. Arteezy falling a bit low, but he's gonna infest the creep and get out. And with Io healing up, he's surviving. He actually tethered the creep there. That wasn't Io healing him actually. But all of Complexity heroes are dying. Their pub train strat is not working. Slark hiding in the trees. Darkseer coming into the rescue for his team. Nice vacuum wall off. I believe it was on like 3 heroes.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
That was a 4-man wipe for Complexity, running 5-man at bot.
Structures.
Meanwhile, Sumail is just pushing mid.
Dire's mid tower.
They're gonna go into Universe here. He might fall, but no, he's gonna get healed up by Wisp. Oh, that wasn't quite enough. He didn't have enough one charges for that, but they managed to clean up afterwards. Okay, he's gonna die to the Diabolic Edict after the Leshrac dies. So they do lose 2 heroes there, but of course they wiped Complexity once again. So a 3-man wipe followed by a 4-man wipe followed by a 3-man wipe. Every hero on Complexity dying there, at least once. It's a full mech for the Darkseer. Alright, so after that debacle, that puts Complexity even further behind, and things like that, so what makes you just want to call GG. Go next, you know, but they're going to continue to try, of course. Slark nowhere near Shadowblade. He's 1-3-1, and without a decent amount of farm on this hero, he doesn't do anything. He just jumps in there and dies, pretty much.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom
Slaughter
tower.
nowhere near his blink. All Complexity can do right now is just group up and try their best. They didn't manage to get the spot tower here, as EG didn't really care to defend it, as they're pressuring this top lane right now. Moo can be in a bit of trouble right now. If Earth Spirit finds an initiation onto him, gets that silence off, he's gonna die. Instead, he's gonna hide himself in the trees while the rest of Complexity is continuing to push down this bot lane.
Pretty sad right now. Have fun trying to bust down Radiant structures
But
now.
EG should be able to push faster. They have the Invoker, double Force Spears, as well as Lifestealer, having that Blightstone. Earth Spirit's gonna be sent bot to attempt to defend. He's just really farmed. He almost has his blink if he wants it very soon. Alright, here comes the defense from EG. Relocate coming in. Good initiation from Crit. And with that stun into Sunstrike, that's going to be a dead slaughter. Excuse me as I blow my nose.
Dire might want to mine their top tower. Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Alright, right. Oh no. Zai left alone in the top lane. Oh. Alright, he almost cancelled his imprison there, but it should die. Ow. Sorry, every time I see a dead Wisp, it pains me inside and makes me sick. And they probably spotted this ward up here, and I get it. Power of Slark.
The Dire best do something about their bottom tower.
After defending the bot lane, EG is gonna group up with the 3 heroes here and continue to push. There's a full Greaves onto Universe, by the way.
Tower's getting the business.
Undying building into a mech himself.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Slark's gonna opt for a Killa.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
That's gonna slow down his Shadow Blade even more. I guess he's not even going for it anymore. He's just trying to get something to try to be a bit stronger in fights. As we see, the gold lead is definitely snowballing for EG right now. It's 10k at 14
Radiant's
minutes.
top tower's hurting.
Earth Spirit even closer to his blink now. I'm actually gonna rotate 2 heroes down bot to defend. And there's not much to say about this game right now. It's EG is in a clearly huge lead, and Complexity is gonna have to pull off something miraculous to come back in this game. Like once this Earth Spirit farms his blink up, they can set up a relocate with just the Earth Spirit. Like Invoker doesn't even have to be there to dish out a ton of damage with the Sunstrike. He continue to push out lanes, and it's looking to be a pretty solid victory. We're gonna see probably Ishii win in like the 20-minute mark. Well, Earth Spirit's gonna be in a bit of trouble here. Oh no, Swindle Melons won't miss the stun. That means Crit will survive.
Mega kill.
And while that happens, the Slaughter dies in the bot lane. Tombstone gets dropped, but it gets taken out. Sumail might be in a bit of trouble here. No more Greaves left on the Darkseer. They're managing to kill Sumail there.
Radiant's top
And
tower
they
is
should be able to
being
get away. There's a buyback from the Slaughter, but to get a kill on Sumail, that's definitely worth it. And Zai will die in the top lane as well, as he had to relocate out his Earth Spirit.
Radiant's
And he left
top
him
tower
back
in
in
bad
base
shape.
while he goes to top lane and dies. So that's actually worked out pretty well for Complexity. I mean, they're not completely out of this game, but as long as EG plays this well,
Radiant's top tower is hurting.
they have the potential. And I say potential, it's not guaranteed, but they have the potential of just ending this game around like 25-minute mark when Invoker gets all his core items up. Alright. So, EG is gonna get Desolator quite soon on Urtizi. What's their play right now? They probably need a blink on Universe, they need the blink on Crit, and once they get that, they're ready to fight. Of course, Sumail is not gonna. I don't see him joining fights anytime soon. He did fight the bot lane there, and see he's died. He still needs a bit more items so he can confidently join team fights and be strong. He uses Agnes. Slark, with that trade in the bot lane, he managed to take out the Invoker, which gave him a lot of gold. So he's actually close to a Shadow Blade now, but it's super delayed. Right, Urtizi drawing the lines. He wants to push in the lanes. And they're gonna spot trouble and TP out there. They actually TP to the mid lane and infested Crit, and that's a loop around that Complexity would not expect. Even though the Tombstone is dropped on the higher ground, another buyback from the Swindle Melons. And they're going to be a full fight here. And OD coming in, and he's going to do a fair amount of damage, but Universe managed to get his back gate wall off before dying there. He's going to have 3 illusions. But the Complexity is going to head straight into the Rosh Pit, but can they do this? Invoker TPing to the bot lane. He's gonna push out this wave, and I think they're waiting for it to be low. I'm assuming they're gonna go for this. They're not gonna let Complexity have this for free. I mean, Urtizi is sitting on a lot of gold. Earth Spirit does have his blink though. And up, they will contest it. Nice blinking 2-man stun from Crit. Slark tried to bleep onto Sumail, but Sumail managed to juke it. Urtizi's in a bit of trouble right now. He's getting healed up by Zai. It's gonna save his life there. So he did manage to stop the Rosh for now. Alright, nice stun from Crit, but Mu managed to get his ult off just in time. There's no detection, I believe. So he's gonna get himself out here, and they have to watch out from EG. Mu's gonna make initiation. Oh no, he will not actually. It's instead gonna be Crit who makes the initiation, and really nice Deafening Blast as well as Stun there, and all of Complexity's heroes are really low. Oh, nice fight here. This is actually a really close fight. Wisp will die here, I believe. No, he managed to barely live with the raindrops, and Sumail wanting to chase now. Well, Hurricane Pike attempting to save Cancel, but with the Relocate coming in front, they should be able to get him here. Our Tombstone drop. Sunstrike will miss. I think Zai will die here. Nice two-man tornado onto Monkeys Forever and Cancel. Another back in from Universe. Oh, Complexity's heroes are so low, but they're still managing to fight, and they finish off Sumail. And they get Universe as well, and they won a huge engagement there. That was so back and forth that entire fight. It lasted for like a good around almost 5 minutes. Undying died and had time to come back.
Dire's top tower.
But the big winner for that fight is Cancel. He finished off a Hurricane Pike, and now he has a full blink as well. And they have Mech on Z-Freak. And if you look at the net worth there, that's a significant swing. Oh, the bigger thing, they have Blink on Monkey's Forever once again, and they get initiation onto both Crit and Artesia. They're gonna kill both. Complexity finding their way back in this game. Albeit it's on a bit of misplays from EG, getting in a put in like a bad situation, but that's all it takes. As I said, it's not guaranteed that EG win this game. It's just highly likely, and Complexity finding their way back in. The big thing about that was, when I said EG wanted to slow the game down a bit, get their core items on their Invoker, because he wasn't necessarily capable of team fighting at this point, compared to an OD. OD was perfectly capable of just fighting, but Invoker needed a couple more items. But instead, Complexity put the pressure on EG to fight, and they felt that they had to. Or they didn't feel like they had to, but they wanted to, because they felt that they were so far ahead they could win. But the fact was, it was kind of even, because their heroes haven't hit their time yet, especially with Artesia sitting on like a lot of gold. He had a full Desolator pretty much, almost completed, and didn't buy it. So since Artesia was sitting on a lot of gold, he didn't have his next item yet. Sumail also not being in the perfect condition to fight either. Complexity chose the right time to fight, and what might have been a better play for EG is just to avoid that fight. They could have just gave him Rosh or whatever, and let him have it. But instead they decided to fight, and they fed away a lot of gold there to Complexity, allowing them a glimmer of hope back into this game. And it's going to be a lot, as that gold's net worth is going to swing almost back to 0. And the Complexity is going to continue to play aggressive right now, and I would say that EG is like actually on the back foot here, but now they're going to find a good initiation onto Complexity on this high ground. Nice two-man stun from Crit, ult coming in from ODs, dishing out a ton of damage, but of course this Earth Spear doing so as well, and all of Complexity is falling low, but they're also being the ones getting the kills. Now Sumail is going to come in, and this Meteor was going to hit hard. It's going to get a kill onto both Moo and Z-Freak. Actually, he's going to kill them all. The Earth Spear doing a ton of damage there. EG just being in a perfect spot to fight that, and Cancel will be the lone survivor. He expected him to keep running, but in fact he did TP. And they lose 2 there, but they managed to wipe the floor with Complexity. Complexity chose a bit of a poor spot to engage there. Crit finding the perfect initiation, 2-man stun. It's pretty easy in this area here, as it's a bit of a choke point. And this is just better positioning for EG's side. This high ground is really where they want to be, and Complexity running it up blind kind of got taken out there. They did save their Aegis and their OD. That's a lot of gold for Crit. 2,000 gold in his inventory after that one. Darkseer deciding not to go for the blink, going for the hood instead. Or a pipe, I mean. He already has his hood. So we look at net worth. That's a bit of a swing back towards EG. OD going towards a BKB, and the reason why I say that EG are still pretty far ahead in this game, even though net worth has fallen back into the favor of Complexity is just for that reason. They're just a lot scarier in team fights right now because Slark is not the biggest of threats. As he's extremely underfarmed. The only hero on Complexity being really farmed is Odie. And even though the net worth is back in Odie's favor, he can't just 1v5 their team. Looks like Arteezy is probably going to go into a Assault Cuirass this game once again, and Crit is building into a Yules. Xayah is a bit poor this game. He's been dying a lot. 7 deaths on him so far, but this is what you expect from an IO in a game like this. There's so many things that he has to watch out for. The Slark, the Leshrac, and all their heroes actually. All their heroes have a potential of killing the Wisp, or at least dishing a ton of damage to him. Complexity's gonna play it a bit slow now. They're not gonna go for anything crazy once again. They're gonna wait for the BKB and the OD, and with that, they're probably gonna make their next play. Invoker is fighting his farm now. He has what he needs. Aghanim, most importantly. He has ultimate orb. I'm not so sure what that's gonna actually end up being built into. Either a Linken's or a Hex. It's probably a Hex this game. There's not many things he has to watch out for with the Linken's. So OD is extremely far from a Hex. He doesn't have to care about that anytime soon. And EG is going to go for a smoke play of themselves as soon as the Aegis is expiring. And, oh, nice ward and initiation from Crit as soon as the Aegis expired, but they didn't manage to get him. He was forced out by himself. I thought it was someone else, but they dropped the Tombstone, but it gets taken out quite quickly. And it looks like Complexity still wants to fight here, but this is not a good positioning for them. Is the BKB up for the OD? It is up. It's flying to him with the courier, but it's going to be too late as the rest of his team is already dying. He will use it now. He's going to get a bit of hits off onto Sumiel, but that's a clear winner of that fight will be EG.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
This ward finding the OD as soon as his Aegis was expiring, and he had to get himself out there. The rest of his team deciding to fight, and they'll lose their lives for it. The bot lane pushing in, they're going to have to send Sumail to defend it. But they still might fight here, 4v3. Moose scouting them out. Oh, actually, it's going to be a Linken's for Sumail. I guess he just wants to play defensive. Only thing that blocks right now is really the amplified damage in prison. But he's playing for the future. I guess they're deciding they want to take this game a bit later, and they don't know how close the OD is to the Hex. And once he gets that, it's going to be a bit of a problem for him. Alright, Crit almost found a good initiation there on Slark, but he managed to get himself out in time. And instead, they're going to be relocate onto the top lane. 3 heroes suddenly, and that's a dead Swinwellens. Yeah, that's the power of Lifestealer and Wisp. You can globally relocate 3 heroes on the map, but you can't bring all 3 back as Crit's going to be left up in the top lane there. Instead, Arteezy is deciding to go into an Abyssal Blade rather than an AC. Or at least Basher for now. EG is going to be pushing this bot lane quite aggressively, but they're not actually committing to the tower themselves. They're just sending the Force Spirits to do the work. But the rest of the team is still there to start a team fight once they find a good initiation onto somebody. OD a bit scared there, blinking back. Both teams are posturing to fight right now. Oh, Blink Stun tried to come onto Ortiz, but Fast Fingers on that rage managed to get himself out there. He even tried to turn onto him, but he managed to force. And BKB, OD go to the fight, and EG is on the retreat, but Zai's going to be in a bit of trouble getting initiated onto by Mu. He didn't manage to relocate or tether himself away, so we'll be forced to buy back. Now relocate coming in. Universe did die in the back there. And Swindlemelon is actually dishing out a ton of damage out of the Celestial. Silence onto OD means that Earthspear is going to get away, and now Arteezy is going to make a counter initiation, but he's going to eat the hammer from OD and he's going to get deleted. Now Sumail fighting with Cancel, and holy crap, everyone is dead. Mu cleared up there. All 5 heroes on the side of EG dead, and Mu the lone survivor of that fight. Brings back memories of last game where it was Sumail in a similar position. And that was a huge fight for Complexity. They were behind there, and they clearly won that fight. It was not by much, but they did win.
Taking hits.
There's a zombie creep right there. I don't know what that is. Roshan is on its way to spawn. It's a full Silver Edge for the Slark now. Should be spawning very soon, but unfortunately it will not be in time for them to get it before EG's heroes respawn. For what started with a somewhat missed initiation from Monkeys Forever, that's worked out really well for them still. Alright, hold on. I have a message.
Morty, watch out! It's a killing spree!
What happened there? Someone messaged me, I had to answer them. It was about my Boston Major plans, but I think they traded a Wisp for a Slaughter, but they didn't lose. They didn't have to use their wall for it. But the fight is continuing, actually. Alright, there's zombies everywhere now. This Tombstone didn't manage to die. And it might be an Aegis secured for Complexity. Slark building into a Scotty. Sumail is on his way to an Octarine core. Of course, this game is even now, I would say. The experience is even, and this net worth is a lot less significant. Because EG's heroes were a lot stronger early when the Slark was still under farm, but after that fight in the bot lane, he's not nothing to be reckoned with right now. He's pretty strong. With the Silver Edge as well as a Echo Saber, he's caught up. He's even more farm than Arteezy right now. Z-Freak sitting invis in the Roche pits. The rest of EG smoke got cancelled by it actually, and they're gonna have to back themselves away. They don't want to walk into the high ground unsmoked, but no, they're gonna find Vision onto the OD and get an initiation, and he's gonna fall low, but he's gonna BKB and get himself out just barely. And this is really good for them. But Undying did die in the back there. He's forced to buy back, but nice deafening blast from Sumail as well as a vacuum wall. So the rest of Complexity's heroes are falling low now. Crit is gonna make the reinitiation in. The Magnetize doing a ton of damage there. OD's imprisoning Swindlemelon, saving his life for a bit longer. Mu killing that ward that did spot out their OD there. And now EG is on the retreat. Sunstrike came out from Sumail trying to find a kill, but it's gonna be one dead from Complexity. Of course, the Undying did buy back, but they did find a kill on Arteezy there. And they might be able to get Roche here. They still have to be careful. Actually, Ichi's not going to get there in time, and that's going to be a Roshan secured from Complexity. DD Rune as well is spawned for them if they want to take a fight right afterwards. So a bit of an awkward fight from EG. Everybody was just kind of split up. They didn't have a single focus. After that, after that OD barely got away, Arteezy kind of focused on other heroes while Crit was just dishing a ton of damage to the heroes in the backline, but I think it was a Slark that found the kill on Arteezy. I can't actually see. I don't. Alright, whatever. An infested Invoker. This might be the gank here. Relocate on the Invoker with the infested Lifestealer. But Zai is going to get initiated onto by Mu, and the rest of Complexity's heroes are here. Ichi has to back. This was a bait. Crit's going to blink out, and they're going to get out just fine. He actually brought Crit out instead of Sumail. Sumail has boosted travel to get away. I don't think Crit had a TP. No, he did have a TP. He was just in a bit more danger as he was amplified damaged. Alright, so that's going to be a failed gank from EG. Complexity is still holding onto that Aegis, of course, onto the OD. And he will have a Shiva's guard right now. I guess he saw the Linken's onto Invoker and decided that he's going to have more value off that Shiva's guard, able to slow the attack speed of EG's heroes as well as provide that extra damage from the active. Gives him a bit of more armor as well. It's pretty good against the Desolator on the Lifestealer.
Radiant's top tower's hurting. Dire's bottom tower's getting the business. Dire gave up a bottom tower. Radiant's top tower's taking
Throw Scotty up for Mu. This is huge.
one last top tower for the Radiant.
Invoker will finish up his Octarine now while Complexity is going to be grouped up and taking out this top tier 2. They're going to back now
The Dire best do
as the
something
bot lane
about
is
that
pushing in.
bottom
This is a
tower.
big creep wave here.
Radiant's
Someone has
top
to deal with
tower's
it.
hurting. Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Boots of Travel up for cancel. And he's has a lot of items now. He is almost comparable to Sumail's net worth. And the OD pick definitely working out for Complexity. Bit of a change up from their last draft with the Mirana. With a scaling hero like this, they can play it a bit slower and work their way into the late game. And they definitely have the late game advantage in this game. The Leshrac, of course, and the Undying. Being able to scale a bit harder than the Wisp and the Earth Spirit. Just a bit though. Both tiers relatively strong in the late game as well. I would say it's fairly even. Just if the Leshrac ever manages to find farm this game, he has a full pipe on himself. Right now, he's not even like he just needs to survive. That's the biggest thing. If he can survive the fight, that's a ton of damage that EG have to deal with. And with a hero like Wisp, who has not had the best game so far, who's falling a bit behind, he can just find himself just non-existent in these fights, as he's gonna get taken out by anything that comes his way.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
It's level 16 Leshrac. Of course, you do leave your ult level 1, because the damage to mana cost ratio is just so much better than if you level it up. You can leave it on for so much longer, and it does a good amount of damage still. Because that's double the mana per second for just 30 more damage per second. That's not really worth it, but 20 mana per second for 100 damage, that's worth it. Unless you get like a Bloodstone or these big mana regen items, you can't really afford to level up your ult. Arteezy being a bit behind this game as well. Look how far he is behind the Slark now. He does manage to complete his Abyssal Blade, but he's getting bursted pretty quickly in these fights. You see, he like died from like full health to almost nothing there from just one OD ult. Since there's no like incredible burst from EG's heroes, which they depend on the before I say that, They're gonna make a play onto cancel. His Aegis just expired. He's gonna go low here, but he's gonna survive. BKB up. He's gonna get himself out. No, the vacuum wall coming in. He did manage to imprison himself just in time. The Wisp falling down to the Swindlemelon's damage. The Odie is still alive here. Will he die now? Yeah, he will die. Meteor coming through, buyback coming in from Slark, but the rest of EG's heroes are dead as well. Slark doing work in this fight. He's falling low, but he still has his ultimate. Swindlemelon's doing a ton of damage as well. He's able to survive so much longer now with the Glimmer as well as Pipe. And now Sumail will die as well with the buyback coming in from Cancel. That's a 5-man wipe for Complexity. 2 buybacks had to be used though.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
That's a full basher flying to the Slark. And they're going to make a push now. The buyback coming in from the OD. And it's not going to affect him too much. He's has all the items he kind of needs. The only thing he's missing right now is like a Hex. And he's still a bit far away from that now because he did have to buy back. But let's see if they can do some damage to EG in the high ground.
Radiant structure must have been fortified.
As I say, the reason why I said Leshrac is going to scale a bit better into late game than EG's supports is. You saw there. He did a ton of damage in that fight as long as he stays alive. In these prolonged fights, he's going to deal more damage than even the Magnetize from the Earth Spirit. Because it doesn't end. Earth Spirit's Magnetize is based on how many rocks he has. But Leshrac does the same amount of damage. It's literally the same amount of damage as level 3 Magnetize. And he can keep it on for as long as he wants. Which is insane. And they're going to manage to take 2 sets of racks there and actually probably secure this game for themselves. EG's going to have a very difficult time coming back from this. And what looked like a devastating early game for Complexity, they managed to turn around with a couple key fights. Like, the thing is, in every one of those fights, they lost like a semi-non-key hero, right? Like a Slaughter or like a Undying in a lot of those fights. Or even the Leshrac. And they bought back and came back in the fight. So EG used a lot of resources to kill like one of their heroes, and then they bought back, came in the fight, and were just as strong. But we're gonna see a fight here. Earth Spirit going on to Slaughter, but he managed to get himself out. Vacuum Wall coming down. Undying falling low in mana as well as health. But they're gonna try to go on to EG now as the zombies are stacking up. OD coming in with the Force Staff. He's gonna find a kill onto Crit. Slark actually getting the credit for that, and they're continuing to chase. They find a stun onto the Wisp as well, but he's gonna be glimmered up and he's gonna tether himself away. But Moo is waiting in the back and he managed to kill the Wisp. Both supports from EG are dead. And Complexity are gonna go for... Wait, what are they doing? I'm assuming they're going for Roche, right? I don't know, they're pushing? Or they're a bit, yeah, they're going for Roche. They wanted to push the bot lane in first, and they're gonna get the Roche, who's just spawned. Alright, this Slark is fat now. He can get a full Abyssal Blade if he wants. And once he gets that, they're not gonna lack control on the Raged Lifestealer, who's already dying so quickly. Aegis and Cheese now for Complexity. Cheese will go on to Monkeys Forever. Aegis onto the OD who had to buy back. Let's see if Moo buys out for an Abyssal Blade. Or what he's gonna buy here. Arteezy just so far behind now. The fights just haven't been going EG's way, and Lifesteal not being the best hero to farm up in a position where he's a bit behind. Now Leshrac has a completed Solar Crest. He's so tanky now. And this is the power of Leshrac. In the last game, you didn't really get to see it because EG were stomping so hard, but once Leshrac gets his item up, he's no joke. And all it took for Complexity for that to happen was a couple of really, really well-played fights. Because once EG was so far ahead in gold, it only took a couple of good fights for Complexity to find their way back in the game. Just that gold bleed onto their side being so crucial to their position in this game. They're finding it so hard to kill the heroes on the side of EG or Complexity now. You see how many times he get a very good initiation off onto the Odie, but because the Lifestealer is not farmed enough to kill him, he managed to get himself out just in time and dish out a ton of damage for falling. And it happened like twice now. The lack of farm on Arteezy is severely hurting EG. Now, Complexity are going to be the ones looking to end this game. And just to mention it now, of course the Undying as well as the Leshrac synergize pretty well with the Odie. Just he really helps them keep their mana pool up there. As you see, Swindle Melon doesn't have to go that many mana regen items, as he has the Odie to pump him with that extra mana with the Essence Aura. They're gonna just work their way bot, finish off this range racks, and nice blink away from cancel, but he still managed to get hit by it. The Slark gets hit by the stun, but Imprison gonna save him. Complexity have so many ways of saving each other right now that it's so hard for EG to find any kills. Without more damage on the Lifestealer, there's not much they can do. Their burst is quite limited. Especially with a hero like Wisp that kind of relies on having a farm carry to buff up, but since the Lifestealer isn't very farmed, it's only so much that he can do now in this late game. So compared to like an Undying that is continuously a nuisance with the Tombstone, as well as amplifying the damage with his Flesh Golem and just putting out those decays as well as healing up his teammates. He has a BKB on himself, so even he is really hard to kill. It's just up to Complexity to pull the trigger and end this game. It's taking it a bit slow still, as they don't want to throw away their huge lead that they've come back. Look at that, 20,000 gold swing. Full AC completed for Outward Devourer. He's probably gonna wait until that comes to him, or he's gonna keep it on the side and call it to him once he loses his Aegis. They know EG's high ground defense is strong, so they want to find a really good... Alright, as I say that's a 3-man vacuum. They're falling low, but the rest of EG are going to get turned on now as the BKBs are popped by Complexity, and all of EG are looking to die. Swindle Melons take so much damage as well as dishing it out. Sumail having a BKB as well is going to try to get himself out there, but that's not going to save him from the bash from Moo, and he's going to fall there, and they're going to call it GG. That's one game 2 by Complexity in a huge 20,000 gold swing. Really good comeback by Complexity. I mean, I would not have expected them to come back like that. I called it at around like that 15-minute mark. I would say EG was like on like a... It wasn't like 99.9% like the last game at that point where they were like, super far behind. But at that point, it was like I would give them like an 80% chance to win the game. And Complexity found the win with a couple of key fights at very good timing as well. Just EG weren't in that position to fight, and they forced the fight, and they truly forced it. They kited each other back and forth. They even like fed a couple kills away just to make sure that EG would commit, and they did commit. And with that, Complexity found the one fight, and after that one fight, they continued to do that for the rest of the game, just shutting down Arteezy. He didn't find his farm. He didn't find the kills that he needed to boost up his gold to the point that he can carry the game. And with that, they found the win. Complexity, good team, guys. I know that a lot of people make jokes about how they suck and whatever, but even with Justin leaving the team, they got to stand in Monkeys Forever, and he played pretty well that game. He does have 13 deaths, but as a Slar, he went in there and got the stuns he needed to, as well as the amplified damage, just allowing them to take out heroes so quickly. Alright, I have a bit of a stuffy nose, but I still managed to catch that game. But did a pretty good job. It kind of blanked a bit in the fights because my freaking nose was acting up. I'm not so sure what it is. Had it since this morning. Should go away by the time I need to cast some collegiate Dota. I have to check what time I'm going to Boston tomorrow for the major. Excuse me, guys. What is this? Excuse me. I'm gonna turn off my cam. I don't think you guys want to watch me sneeze. Bye bye. Ow. How are these games going? OG, I think they lost to IGV, right? Because another game started before this, and OG won game 1, so I'm assuming they didn't win game 2. It is game 3. I'm just looking at my bus information, trying to get to Boston tomorrow. I'm gonna take a bit of a break before the next EG game. I want to cast game 3. That was a pretty impressive play of complexity. I want to see more from them. Not gonna say much. Probably gonna mute my mic as well. See you guys later.
了什么？
Blood has been spilled, Morty, for the first time in this game.
滴血。有起必有落。
想都别想！提速！好起！打败了。
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
万物皆会失落。
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business. Dire's mid tower won't last much longer. Dire's mid tower is having technical difficulties.
小贼，你虽死犹荣。
Go, whoa, killing spree. Oh, everyone bow down. Oh, an accident, I bet.
后面也无法说。我操！
小
Hope the Dire weren't partial to that mid-tower. Radiant's bottom. Radiant's bottom tower's seen better days. Dire's top tower, you know the drill. Radiant's bottom tower's done for. The Dire might want to mine their top tower. Dire's structure's looking fortified. Dire's top tower, you know the drill. Dire's lost the top tower. Trouble brewing at Radiant's. No breaking down the Radiant structures like this.
受到庇护。
双倍伤害。
Radiant's bottom tower is a pretty sight right now. There goes Radiant's bottom tower.
息了。你怎么变多了？统治被推翻了。绝佳位置。
钱还没付清呢。
Radiant's top tower's hurting. Radiant's top tower's taking hits. Radiant's toughened up their structures. One last top tower for the Radiant. Can't do nothing about Dire's structures right now.
随从不错。
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower. Dire's bottom tower got blown to bits.
Oh, Rick! He's dominating now! He's dominating!
Wubba lubba dub dub!
但灵气犹存。
Double kill. Oh boy, killing spree.
Oh, jeez, he's
Double
dominating!
kill. Oh man.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer. No breaking through the Dire's structures for now. Dire's mid-tower's having technical difficulties. Dire's mid-tower's nothing now.
你做个随从不错。
Radiant's mid-tower's coming apart. Have fun trying to bust down Radiant structures now. Radiant's mid-tower's getting banged up. Dire's mid-tower could use a little help. Dire's mid-tower's having technical difficulties. Radiant's bottom tower's seen better days.
Oh jeez, it's a killing spree!
Riggedy, riggedy, wreck, son!
Radiant's bottom tower's seen better days.
Alright, everybody, I'm back, and this is game 3 of EG vs Complexity in the Boston Major. Qualifier, or not qualifiers, group stages. And we're gonna see a Brewmaster offlane for Universe here, so it's gonna be quite interesting. I actually missed the draft stage, but we're gonna get right into the game right now. There's also gonna be a Spirit Breaker offlane for Monkeys Forever. So a bit of non-standard offlaners right now. I mean, they're still picked by teams, mostly wings that comes to mind. So both teams kind of taking a bit of a wings approach with their offlaners right now. Picking something a bit non-standard for the meta right now. And we're going to see Zai make a play onto the Monkeys Forever here. Spirit Breaker, just try to zone him out. He also did pull the wave here. Mirana is going to be played by Z-Freak, and he's going to be roaming right now. It's roaming Mirana, so you're going to see her run around a lot. Arrow keeps in the jungle. She's going to get level 2 right now. I think she did Arrow 2 creeps. That's going to bring her up to level 2, so that's going to give her the leap ability. Ortiz taking a bit of damage in this bot lane here, trying to tank this whole creep wave. But he does have the IO here to heal him up, but as I say that, he's going to get charged by monkeys, but no arrow coming out from Z-Freak, but he did get the bash, 17% there. I don't think... I actually might have run the risk of dying there, as Zai does not have level 2 yet, so he doesn't have the overcharge to continue to heal Arteezy up once he hits full HP. But she decided not to throw the arrow there. Instead, she's going to throw it at a creep, and they're going to get the pull as well. We're going to see the classic Tree Ant and Weaver lane. It's quite a powerful lane, but the Panda as well as the Ogre are powerful as well, so we're going to have a bit of a fight in this top lane in this 2v2. How's the mid lane going? We have OD versus Juggernaut. Juggernaut should lose his lane. There's that famous clip of Puppey owning that Juggernaut with the OD. But that's a different OD from the one we had today, but he does the same kind of thing. Of course, he's in prison, changing a bit, not taking your int anymore, but of course it still prevents you from last hitting as you get put up in that astral imprisonment.
Radiant's bottom tower seems
Cancel even opting for an early point in Arcane Orb here, just to try to burn away Juggernaut's mana. It looks like Ogre made a rotation onto the bot lane, and he might find a kill here on Monkeys Forever. He's going to block him in, armor coming out, and he's going to get his charge through, and he should live here. He actually doesn't have boots, so the Sven should be able to outspeed him with the tether. Arrow not coming up in time to stop the Sven from getting that last right click off, and it's going to be a dead Spirit Breaker. If he charged to anything further away, he probably would have lived there, but instead he charged just to the right, and that was not enough. Is Zai gonna sacrifice himself to the Roshan? And OD's gonna get a rune in this top lane. Oh no, he might get his rune jacked here by Crit, who picked up that Invis bot. And he does indeed lose his rune. That's gonna be quite annoying for him, as the Ignite's gonna come out as well, and he's gonna have to walk himself out. How's the top lane going for this Weaver? It's actually pressured quite a bit. This is not free farm by far. It's a hero that is a bit hard to last hit on, especially if contested. It's a weird animation, as well as having the Gemini attack, making it a bit more complicated to last hit. Just see Universe pull his creep wave into this camp here. It's gonna deny a couple creeps away from Moo. He's gonna miss that one as well. He's gonna miss a lot, actually. So if you're not a Weaver player, it's quite difficult to get CS on him. It's just a weird hero to do it with. Z-Freak actually fighting a lot of farm. This is arrowed a lot of creeps, 6, 7 now, or yeah, 7 last hits. I mean, actually got the right click on that one. Leave one creep in the camp. I don't know about that. Should have just killed it. But he will get his mana boots and arrow another creep. And this is how he really plays the Marauder. He roams around a lot, but you don't see him go for a lot of just blind arrows, just wasting his mana like that way. He wants to get a lot of farm out of it as well. It's just providing pressure in lanes. It's like the risk of the arrow that wins his team the lanes, rather than him just sitting there actually throwing arrows out constantly. Because every time he does that, they know they're safe for a while it's still on cooldown. But if he's just staying in fog, arrowing creeps, they don't know what he's actually doing at the moment. And then nice arrow coming in onto Arteezy there. He does block it for his Wisp, but Wisp is still going to end up falling. With the nice rotation in from the OD and the bot lane, he's going to get a kill onto Zai. Fortunately, they did not find Arteezy. He's going to block himself away. I don't think he's actually going to go to base.
Dire's mid towers having technical
Looks like he's heading there.
Dire's structures looking fortified.
Now, Sumail imprisoned up under the tower, and he's going to be in a bit of trouble here if he gets. Whoa! He's going to man up and Omni Slash Theon to cancel, and he almost finds the kill there. Fortunately, it wasn't quite enough, as that Living Armor did came out. And now we're going to see the charge in from Monkeys Forever, bringing Sumail low, but with the Wisp to heal him up, he should be just fine. A healing ward as well, and that's going to heal him up to full once the tether comes in. Wisp actually quite far away from Bottle. He hasn't had the best early game. Died only once there. His other death was to Roshan. Swindles is gonna just farm up, and he's a decent level himself at level 5. He'll kill himself here to creeps just to get himself back to base. It's where'd he get all that levels from?
Dire's mid tower.
This was just jungle creeps, and he was mid for a while, I think, while the OD was rotating out to get the gank on the bot lane.
Dire's mid tower's having technical difficulties.
He's not very farmed though, as he only has a Windlace and an Infused Raindrop. There's smoke as well. Arteezy and Zai just farming the jungle together, leaving this bot lane as they feel a bit pressured down there. Alright, now they're grouped up. Zai, Arteezy, and Crit are smoked, but they have to go to mid to save Sumail. Charge comes in onto Juggernaut. Ultimate as well, but he's getting healed up a lot by Zai, who was under that imprisonment there. Now they're going to come in and try to take a turnaround onto Complexity, but Moonlight Shadow is going to stop that. They do get the OD though. Weaver did rotate in for this. They only found the kill on Zai so far. The arrow hit onto Universe, and they will find the kill. But that stun in from Ortiz is going to mean a dead Mirana, so that's a 2-for-2 trade. Move getting in a bit of trouble there, but he did manage to find the charge out. Not too good for Complexity there, actually. They only lost Wisp and the Brewmaster. That's going to be a bit bad for Wisp, as he's already really far behind in this game. Just the only thing that he has his name is a magic stick, but for Arteezy, he's going to rotate directly to the Ancients and farm that up, and he's in a good position in this game. It's unfortunate that Universe got hit by that arrow there, as he would have had his ultimate to turn that fight even more. But he did end up falling there, but still having his ultimate off cooldown to potentially look for a fight soon. I'm going to walk into this camp and see that the big creep has been murdered by Mirana. And we're going to see a smoke up from Complexity.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
That Moonlight Shadow really saving them there. Could have gone a lot worse for them if it wasn't for that.
Radiant's bottom tower.
But the smoke is going to be popped. It looked like it was a smoke used just to ward. But Mirana did get her smoke popped by the Juggernaut, and he's going to be spotted maybe. There's actually no wards, so they don't know where she is. While the rest of EG is smoked up as 3 once again. They kind of were going for this last time, but they were interrupted rudely by Complexity as they were going on mid themselves. But now, will they be able to find a kill onto Odie? He's going to get himself out. He's really fast with the Windlace. And that's going to be a missed gank by EG. They want to take a fight with Arteezy as well as Universe with his ult up, but they didn't manage to find so. Instead, they're going to transition into a mid push. Bloodlust up the catapult, dude. That does far more damage than any of these heroes, actually. This is only level 3 Bloodlust with no ultimate, so it's a bit longer cooldown. Mirana getting in a bit of trouble in these trees, and she will get imprisoned up, which will save her life for a bit longer, but that's not going to be enough as she will fall at the end of the day. But Weaver TPing in, getting bugs onto a lot of heroes. They're going to go for a fight here, but Brewmaster ult coming out, and it looks like Complexity are trying to back away, but Odie is going to get put up in that tornado, and that's going to be another death from the side of Complexity. Monkeys Forever is in a position to charge, but EG are quite strong right now. Has this Wisp finally found his motto? Yes, he has, with that tower taken in the mid lane. Look at net worth. It's quite in the favor of EG. Complexity's lineup again is a bit more late game oriented. They have support Mirana, who's been farming a lot. She's even bought a Wraith Band for herself for a bit of extra damage. And she hasn't had the biggest impact in this game so far. She's found a couple kills, but other than that, she's been farming a lot more.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
What is Complexity's plan here? It's the OD is going for a bit of a fighting build instead of something like a Midas, where you're gonna get a lot of farm up. Instead, he's gonna go for the drums. But they're not in the best position to fight right now, as EG has Echo Saber completed on Arteezy, and every time they have the Brewmaster up, they're gonna be in a very good position to fight. They have pretty good siding on the side of EG, warding I mean, on the side of EG's map. With that smoke in from the tree ants, he managed to put a lot of deep wards down near this ancient area, but it doesn't even seem like EG are interested in their ancients right now. They're just going for a tower push in this top lane.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
And Omni Slash coming in from Sumail will bounce onto a lot of heroes, so it won't do too much damage. Stun will come onto Treant, who's going to finish him off. Arrow actually hits onto Arteezy. He's going to take a lot of damage here. Oh, he will have to be relocated out by the Wisp, but he's not get it out in time. And Sumail or Arteezy is going to die there. And the rest of his team is in trouble as well, as they can get continuously charged down by the Spirit Breaker. Another arrow is going to hit onto Universe. That's going to be 3 dead already for the side of EG. Zai, just who relocated out, is in a bit of trouble himself, and then Imprison will cancel it and secure the kill as well. Sumail being the lone survivor there. They thought they could take a fight there with the DD rune on Sumail, but unfortunately there's too many heroes there, and his Omni Slash bounced across a lot of heroes. It was not actually level 2 Omni Slash, which might have done more work there. There's just a bad start of the fight from EG, which cost them a lot of heroes. The big thing about that was Arteezy eating that arrow. That really won them the fight. Oh, Universe is gonna die before being able to pop his ultimate, and Arteezy is gonna be kited. Weaver coming in, but he'll eat that stun from the Ogre. Imprisoned onto Sumail. He's gonna have to get himself away there. He's falling quite low now, but Monkeys Forever is looking to reinitiate. The charge is gonna come in, but a bit of miscommunication is gonna be cancelled, shooting him that imprisonment. But instead, the ult is gonna come onto Arteezy, and now he's falling low as well, and he's gonna fall. Now Zai's in a bit of trouble as he's eating a ton of damage from cancel, and they're just getting chased down. That's a full 5-man wipe. ultra kill for Moo.
Ultra kill in here.
Just Weaver being a pretty strong hero against Wisp, as well as Sven. He's very elusive in the fight, able to just get around real quick and just kite the heroes, get in the backline to start killing the IO as well. And you saw Arteezy dish out a ton of damage there, but he just he didn't manage to finish heroes off. And just living armor, healing up heroes slowly, keeping them alive, allowed Complexity to take that fight quite one-sidedly, I mean. And EG just wasn't even like it was like a bad decision. It was not a decision-making thing. It was just they misplayed the fights, and that was enough for Complexity to really turn it around. And now they go for a relocate onto the bot, but it was a bait as other heroes were in the vicinity, and they did just lose Zai there. Arteezy actually got out with the TP scroll, which is quite fortunate for EG, because that could have been easily 2 dead there, and that puts Arteezy even further behind. If we look at net worth right now, he is still pretty good, but he could be doing better while this Weaver is catching up, as he didn't have the best laning stage, but with that ultra kill, he's gonna find a lot of gold for himself. And the thing is, EG spent so many resources and time trying to take out this top tower, but with the Treant, they're able to heal it almost up to full, and now Sumail is working on the tower, but he realizes this is futile. Even if he does manage to chip it down even more, it's just gonna get healed up by Swindle Melons. And now Arteezy even just resorting to popping his ultimate to get his farm up faster. He needs his Blink Dagger, he needs something so that he can just get right in there and dish out his damage. But even then, his damage is kind of falling off right now, as he was really strong like 2 or 3 minutes ago with his Echo Saber up. You saw he did a ton of damage there, but they weren't able to just finish people off. And people living on a sliver of HP and coming back in the fight after getting healed up by Treant. Charge onto Sumail, and he's not going to be able to get his spin off there, and that's going to be another death from him. Complexity showing dominance on the map right now, having really good map control as well as just vision on deep inside of EG's map, with one here and another in this jungle.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
What can EG do now? The Wisp is really behind. This is not a position that you want to be with when you're playing IO. He doesn't have many items. He's really squishy and extremely burstable in fights. Of course, EG can still turn this around with one good engagement, and they have the lineup to do it.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
But it's going to require just baiting Complexity into something bad.
Radiant's
A full force staff finished up by the OD now. And they're going to go for a mid lane push, the Weaver building into a Lincoln Sphere. As well as having already a completed Dragon Lance.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
This is where Arteezy really would love to have a Blink Dagger right now, but unfortunately he's around 250 gold away from it still. Or 200 gold, I mean. He's going to have it with this creep wave, and EG might look to make a play with the newly picked up Blink from the Sven, but they're going to have to be careful, as Complexity's heroes are very hard to fight into. Ideally, they want to bait Complexity in a bad position, finding up a high ground or something where they can get a counter initiation with the Brewmaster and dish out a ton of damage using the Sven. Complexity don't really have the best lineup to just initiate a fight and get away with it. They require EG starting first and just counter initiating. The best way Complexity can start a fight right now is really a imprisonment into arrow. But even that can be countered by a relocate away from the Wisp or something like that. So what they definitely don't want to do is just start with a charge onto like 5 heroes. And unfortunately, they were just about to do that, but his charge was cancelled by Roche, and that might have been a blessing for Monkeys Forever. As if he completed that charge there, he most likely would have died. EG are grouped up and looking to fight, but they're not going to find anyone right now. Full Aghanim's almost completed onto Z-Freak. He's gonna need a couple more creeps for it. But meanwhile, EG made a play onto Complexity in the bot lane, but they managed to get themselves out. They have a lot of invis as well. Moonlight Shadow, Nature's Guise. It's gonna make EG supports even poorer. Zai just has nothing on him, as well as the Ogre. Oh no, Z-Freak's in a bit of trouble here, and is he gonna be able to get his Aghanims? Can he survive long enough? He's praying. Oh no, he'll actually not, but he's even gonna use a buyback. They're gonna take this fight here. Arteezy dishing out a ton of damage. Monkey's forever falling. Brewmaster ult coming out, and right now they only lost the Spirit Breaker so far. Stun onto Weaver, they're going to lose Mua as well. And this is looking to be a really good fight for EG, but as I say that, Wisp will get taken out. Buyback coming in, relocate as well, and Z-Freak might just die back here. He does get imprisoned, saved by Cancel, but now Cancel's in a bit of trouble. Finding a Force Staff onto the high ground, he's going to get his ass out of there, but it's not going to be too lucky for Z-Freak, who was literally 20 gold away from his Aghanims, but now he's a whole 1,000 gold away, or 800 gold, I mean. That's not going to be too good for him. It's quite unfortunate. Just the timing of the fight was just really bad for Complexity. If he had his Aghanims, let's say they just waited like 2 more seconds to take that fight. He needed 1 more creep. They would have Aghanims, and they might have had a good chance of winning that fight entirely. But the fact that he get caught out that close to his Aghanims and had to buy back for it was just really bad for Complexity. I think Monkey's Forever bought back there as well. Look. Oh no, he actually did not. He just respawned in time.
Top tower. Dire's top tower's getting beat
And after
down.
that one fight, Ortiz is going to catch up right now in terms of net worth. He's going to lead him to the top. Z-Freak is given a bit of space to complete his Aghanims. They're probably not going to look for a fight until he actually completes that. That was just a really bad time from them deciding to take that fight, or they actually got caught out there and he didn't manage to finish off his Aghanims before fighting. Odie did try to save him there with Imprison, but his leap already being on cooldown, he couldn't get himself out there. Echo Saber completed by Monkey's Forever. He's going for a bit of a right-click build on the Spirit Breaker. Echo Saber treads. Yeah, they finally de-ward right here, while Swindles is playing a bit distant from his team. He's kind of just been off his own a lot of times right now, scouting out with his Nature's Guys as well as pushing out lanes. It looks like Complexity are potentially looking for a Roshan play right now, as EG are pushing the top. Cancel's going to force himself in, and they will indeed go for Roshan. I believe EG know that this is happening. Full Aghanims finally completed for Z-Freak. Was a bit delayed, but he'll find it. And Moonlight Shadow even used Monkey's Forever walking out of the Rosh Pit to scout out, and they're going to run into EG here. But EG is on the high ground, so they have the advantage here. Sven blinking in to look for heroes, but they're already invis with the Moonlight Shadow. And now Cancel is going to get spotted by Sumail. Charge attempting to come in from Monkey's Forever, but it will get immediately cancelled. But the stun will land onto Cancel. Brewmaster ult as well, and we're going to see Omni Slash coming in from Sumail. That's going to be a dead Spirit Breaker there. Really nice ultimate from Swindlemelons, locking down a lot of heroes, but unfortunately their damage just wasn't there. Now Cancel is falling low, and he might die here, but he doesn't have the Aegis. Swindlemelons, or Z-Freak running out of the fight, as well as Swindlemelons. They're trying to escape right now. Cancel is in a bit of trouble. His Aegis will pop. Arrow coming in from Z-Freak will find a kill onto the Ogre. The rest of EG are still quite healthy, except for the Io. He's in a bit of trouble. He has a bug on him, and he's going to die here with the ultimate from Cancel. And the rest of EG have to run right now. The Brewmaster ult has ended, as well as the Sven ultimate. Omni Slash used as well. They have to try to get themselves out. And nice Imprison into Arrow is going to find a kill into Arteezy. So at the end of the day, that was a one fight for Complexity, even though they did lose their Aegis already. Without the Aegis, EG probably would have had the advantage there, but with the Aegis, Cancel was able to come back alive and finish off Arteezy there. The imprisonment into Arrow being a very powerful tool for Complexity right now, as it's finding them a lot of kills onto heroes. And Moo will have completed up his Lincoln Sphere. so it's gonna be a lot harder to control him. As you saw in this fight in this ancient area, he did die quite quickly once he got hit by one Sven stun, but right now it's gonna be a lot harder to control him, as he will have his Lincolns to block that. And the bugs actually doing work in these fights, as they're just since Wisp is so underfarmed, they're just even just a bug alone is doing a lot of damage to him. And then with that, Weaver can just scooch in and send him like one auto attack with a Geminate attack, and he dies. Look at net worth. Complexity is in favor right now. It did dip back into Ichi's favor a bit after losing that big fight at the Roche Pit, or the ancient area. But right now, they're still going to have a firm lead in this game. RTZ picking up a full Daedalus, or a BKB, I mean.
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
Sumail building into a Diffusal Blade, and they'll have it soon. It's going to be really valuable for them, as Complexity heroes are kind of a bit dependent on their mana, and they also need a bit more control from Ichi. Their only control right now being really the Sven stun, and Ogre. You don't really have that much range on the stun, so it's a bit hard to land it against the mobile heroes that like Complexity has. And Ichi is gonna be slowly sieging down this tower. So they know they're in a pretty good position now to fight with the BKB on the Sven, and Cancel will get spotted out in the back. He was trying to go for some flank play, but he's going to get himself in a bit of trouble here. He's going to find his Force Staff out of there. Omni Slash coming on to him now, but without his imprisonment, he's going to die here. Really nice ultimate from Swindlemelons, catching a lot of heroes. RTZ does BKB to get out of it, and he's going to start working on Swindles, but the buyback coming in from Cancel will be able to do work. RTZ falling low now, he's on the retreat. Spirit Breaker charge coming in, and it looks like RTZ will die here after his BKB expires. They didn't manage to find the Ogre just in time. He actually imprisoned his own teammate. And even though it looks like Complexity won the fight at the end of the day, it did cost OD a buyback, which is actually not the biggest thing in the world. They'll still take it, as after that fight, Mu has found a fair amount of gold, 2,000 gold in his inventory right now, pretty much, as they did secure the win for that fight, taking out RTZ once again, once his BKB expired. Now Sumail is finding his farm now, completing up that Diffusal Blade, finding Illusion Rune for himself as well. It's going to help him push out a lane. And I really like this Treant play from Swindlemelons. He's playing this Team Scout as well as the Ward Placer. He's like a Bounty Hunter Ricky kind of playstyle right now. And in the fights, he's been getting really nice ultimates off on multiple heroes. It's always 3 or more. Complexity really enjoys this like elusive playstyle. I like to pick heroes that have like a lot of ability to move around the map. Mobile heroes, I guess, but not necessarily mobile, like in terms of like what you think like as a Storm Spear or anything like that. They just pick heroes that have like Moonlight Shadow and abilities to get around really fast in terms of like rotating. They favored the Slardar, now Spirit Breaker, Weaver, Slark, of course. I guess you just say invis heroes, like heroes that are elusive. Ichi is going to group up once again and just look to complete this tower, but of course by the time that they could get there again, it's going to be healed almost to full by the Treant. They're going to start working on it now and doing a fair bit of damage to it, and I don't think Complexity is going to get here in time to save their tower, but they might just try to fight if Ichi goes for the tier 2. Blink Dagger completed by Siegfried, so he's going to have the ability to just get in the fight and leap out. Of course, core item on Mirana. And it looks like they're going to go for a fight on this bot lane. They're TPing right now. The tower has already fallen a bit low. Lincoln Sphere will be popped from Mu, and with that stun used, Monkeys Forever looked to make a charge in, but he got a bit scared and decided to just give away the tower as it was already too low for them to save. Decided it was not worth the risk there. Swindle Melons wasn't really in position quite yet, and even if he was, they already had sentries probably placed, and he couldn't get in the right position to get a good ultimate off, so decided to let the tower go. Weaver will find a DD rune on the top lane. And they might look to take a fight with this. Double damage Weaver is no joke. Ichi's heroes are just backed away in this spot corner right here. They're kind of afraid. Not so sure where Complexity exactly is. Thinking that Complexity would play more aggressive at this point, as they do have a fair advantage still. But instead, Complexity will just be farming up. Ichi is definitely playing a bit cautious right now. They're 5-man and they're grouped up. You get spotted finally by this ward from Swindle Melons. Deep in their ancient areas. Really nice ward. Not likely to be de-warded as well, as tend to expect a ward up here or like over here, or blocking it. Instead it's a bit further down. Moonlit Shadow will finally be used, and Ishi or Arteezy got in a bit of trouble here. He's gonna get arrowed as well, and Relocate coming out, and Complexity really smart to realize that they don't commit further onto Arteezy, knowing that Wisp was in the vicinity and had the ability of bringing him out there. Yeah, so that engagement will be a wash. Neither team will find any kills off of that. Relocate had to be used, but it's not the biggest cooldown. This vision from Ichi is quite interesting. They put a lot of wards in this bot area. They want to see around the Roche pit for any fights breaking out in this general vicinity. Looks like Mirana is building a plate mill. It's you can build it into a lot of things. I'm assuming it's not Assault Cure, so it's either a Lotus Orb or a Shiva's Guard. We'll see what she actually decides. Lotus Orb could be clutch. One of the biggest things is just stopping the Sven from initiating. You have a lot of single target spells from EG, and if they get the Lotus Orb on the target that Sven initiates on, it could just bounce stun back on him if he doesn't pop BKB. And he doesn't necessarily want to pop BKB that early in fights sometimes. They're just initiating on some hero like a Mirana. So even the Omni Slash, if they can bounce the Omni Slash back onto the Jug, this could be huge. We saw that in a game yesterday. Now Mu scouting out EG. They did commit Moonlight Shadow for this, but he's gonna get spot out. Oh, that's a really fast Linken's pop and stun by Arteezy, and they did manage to burst the Weaver, but the rest of the team does get hit down by the hammer from the OD. Ult coming in from Monkey Survivor. They're gonna find a kill onto Crit. Buyback came in from the Weaver, time lapse in as well, so he can immediately rejoin the fight. And now Monkey Survivor getting in a bit of trouble there. All his mana was burned. He will drop a gem. Arteezy is still trying to fight, but his ult will expire very soon, getting slowed down by the tree, and he's gonna fall here. Gem on the ground, and it should be picked up by one of the heroes. Zfree gets it, and they kill that ward by Ichi as well. And that's 4-man wipe from Complexity, and they're gonna head straight into the Roche pit. Did they have 2 gems? No, that's the only gem in the game, and it was bought by, what was it? It was probably Ichi's gem, I think. Yeah, it was Crit's gem. That's gonna be a free Aegis for Complexity. The Weaver got caught out there, and that was a really fast burst on him. Those fast Linken's pop into a stun. He couldn't react in time with anything, and he did get taken out there, but with the buyback time-lapse in, he was able to rejoin the fight immediately. And that's a common theme with Complexity's plays. Like, they tend to lose one hero or something like that, but after that, the fight starts immediately after that hero buys back and they initiate. And you saw how much damage that OD ult did onto EG. A lot of it was just burning their mana. It didn't do that much damage to a lot of their heroes, but it immediately bursted Universe before he could get his ult off, I believe, and the rest of the heroes just got all their mana taken away, and that was devastating for them as they kind of are reliant on their mana to be useful in the fight. But now we're going to see the initiation from Universe with Brewmaster ult, but Weaver coming in as well, deep onto the back lines, taking out Zai very low, but he didn't manage to get him in time, having to time-lapse there to save his life. OD placed in the air, Omni Slash coming in as well, Monkey's Forever taking the brunt of the damage for that. Moose still healthy, Cancel having the Aegis of course, he's not going to be too sad if he falls here, and the only death will be the Spirit Breaker. And now, with 3 dead from EG, Complexity is going to make their high ground push. Aegis still on the OD, he didn't lose his life there, he managed to save himself with imprisonment. And it's going to be a bit low, but Treant armor will bring him back up. Yeah, the Omni Slash just not being the best there. It bounced across a lot of heroes, and with that, it only managed to take out the Spirit Breaker. The Sven being perfectly kited as well, he just didn't manage to find his damage in the fight. He had BKB and Crystallis, but the damage just wasn't there from him. You saw he wasn't even a threat in that fight at all. He got controlled a lot by the Treant, and with that, he just couldn't do anything. And with the Sumail still dead, it's going to be 2 set of racks for Complexity, looking similar to game 2. Nice blink dodge there, but from the Ignite. And it will actually be the Lotus Orb from the Mirana. Quite smart build, he can disassemble his mana boots to get that. And they only lost 1 there, killed 3 Ishi heroes, didn't lose their Aegis, and took 2 sets of racks. This is looking really good for Complexity. And everyone's saying EG was the favorites for this tournament. They're losing this game right now to Complexity. 2 NA rivals. Complexity finding the advantage on this one. So their Wisp play just hasn't been the best so far, and that's actually a problem that EG have usually. They've run it quite a bit so far now that they have 2 Wisp players, so they favor it more from the time that PPD was still playing on the team. But now they're going to find initiation onto Monkeys Forever, and they're going to take him out real quick. But it looks like Complexity wants to fight. They still have the Aegis on OD, and Prison coming out, Arrow onto the Ogre, but they're still going to back themselves away. Sven ult is still online, but oh no, Cancel is going to blink aggressively in. Brewmaster ult will be used, Moo falling low. He's going to eat a stun there, but nice Lotus Orb bouncing it back onto Sven. He's forced to BKB there, as if he gets stunned there, it could mean a bit of trouble for him. Now Moo falling even lower, and he's going to die there with having time lapse to save himself. And the OD is put up in the air right now. He's in a bit of trouble. There's no BKB or anything to help him survive, and he's going to just have to fight his way out here. But he's dying slowly to the Sven as well as the Brewmaster. He is going to get taken out. Aegis will be popped. Can he blink himself out in time? And he will not. He's going to be in a bit of trouble. He does have ult to drop, and it's going to take out Sumail. Can he save himself? Lotus Orb put on him as well, and he's dishing out the damage. He's surviving. Living Armor keeping him alive, and that's an ultra kill for Cancel. Just manning up there. And GG called from Sumail. That's going to be a quick 2-1 victory from Complexity. Well, not quick exactly, but this game was definitely fast-paced.
Radiant's mid-towers coming again.
I would not have expected this. I knew Complexity, I didn't underestimate them or anything. I knew they would stand pretty well against EG. They can go even at least, but this game looked almost decisive. Their early game, of course, was always a bit weak, but it was nothing like the second game that was a huge comeback. It was just a slight comeback. EG had a slight early game advantage, but after that, Complexity was able to turn it around. EG decided to push that top lane, and it got turned right around on them. And after that, Complexity was in the clear lead. I actually have to go now, so see you guys later. I'm not going to cast more games, but I'm actually interested of how this is going to turn out. Complexity upsetting EG, Warriors Gaming upsetting Wings Gaming. What is going on, guys? This is Dota 2 Boston Major. Alright, peace out. See you guys later. I gotta go.